What's up, y'all? Mr. Right Way here. Back again today. We're going to be talking about the Apple effect in gaming. I got my boys with me again. We got Retro Neo Ness. What's up, man?
Drop that retro, son.
Drop that retro. Drop that retro. Hey, now.
Just Neo Ness in the house. What it is? Happy Friday. How's everybody doing?
My bad. See, look, you got me used to it. And I said, hey, man, you might want to change it. Then you did, and I'll still call the same thing. Oops.
All good. All good.
Yeah. Speaking of oops, they did it again. Look at this Fruity Pebble down here at the bottom.
Pause.
He don't know how to use it, y'all. We teach them. We gotta get a little. He got a little more.
That's what she said.
That's okay. That one was okay. That was okay. I got you.
Y'all.
He get there. Y'all.
I got you. I got you. What's going on, guys?
What's up, man? Did you get a new chair?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
They're like a new chair.
No. See, he's blind and deaf. You see that?
Blind and deaf. No.
Jeez.
Like I never saw that pillow thing on that.
Oh, that's probably because of my head's always back. I have it lounged back because when I play, we were just playing. We were just grinding Fortnite. The end of the season's coming in March. Like I think we got like 2 weeks left, so we're like grinding to get levels and get all the free crap that we can get. So
you grinding like a jabroni.
Yeah, we were playing since like 5 o'clock.
Dang.
So. And I just finished like 5 minutes ago. So
you and your son playing it?
My son was playing, my daughter was playing, and a friend of mine was playing. So
what do you like about Fortnite?
So the same reason people like Call of Duty when you're playing with squads and stuff. The only reason I don't like Call of Duty is the cheating. At least with Fortnite, they have that anti-cheat. Mm-hmm. But it's just something like you go in there and it's like, I don't know, the adrenaline when you're like the last team and you win it. I don't know. Okay. It's something I can play with my kids too.
Somebody said that you got the Lady Gaga skin.
I know I don't have the Lady Gaga. I have the turtles. I've been running around as Michelangelo. Yeah.
Okay.
They're doing a collab right now with the Ninja Turtles. So
do you have to pay for those skins?
Yeah. A lot of them you do. Yeah.
That's how they make their money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a free game.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing.
But you can get April O'Neil, you can get Splinter, you get the 4 Turtles, Shredder, and Super Shredder.
I almost played Fortnite when they dropped that Dragon Ball Z skin.
Yeah, and Naruto.
Yeah, Naruto. Yeah, are them Dragon Ball skins still in the game or just like limited time?
They pop in from time to time in the shop, but they do the Kamehameha. And sometimes they bring that Mythic out, and then it just like wipes it. You should download it and play it. I mean, everybody wants to say it's a kid's game, but I'm telling you, you're gonna get hooked. There are free skins. There's free items.
I don't know, but
I tried
we would
it.
have a ball. I'm telling you, we can sit there. I'm telling you, we would have a ball.
I'm not gonna knock it until I try it. I
just
never tried it. And just wanted to see what it is because I'll probably be walking in there and snipe the hell out of me.
That's usually I like to carry a sniper and I was hitting people at 350 to 400 meters away. And then they changed the bullet drop, so now you got to really watch where you're aiming.
Mm-hmm.
But man, oh man, it's just there's nothing satisfying than getting a headshot at somebody that's like really ticking you off, like on the team because they keep trying to go after your teammates. Oh, yeah. It's awesome! Like you're just like, yeah, take that.
You can't do no adventure by yourself. It's all team based.
There is Save the World with Fortnite, but a lot of guys don't do that. We play Battle Royale. There's like there's what's called creative. Mm-hmm. Where you can go in there with your friends and just shoot each other, and it's kind of like playing paintball. That would be the best way I could kind of explain it.
Okay.
But I don't play build. A lot of the guys, they do the building and they build up all the walls and crap like that. I don't do that. We do zero build. So it's like playing Call of Duty, basically.
Okay.
So,
hey,
yeah, we have
As
fun.
long as you're having fun, I can't. I would never ever like knock anybody for playing Fortnite. I might joke, but I don't know nothing about it.
It's not for everybody, but it is really fun when like I said, when I play with my kids, my wife plays it.
No, that's good when you play with family. That's what it's about, I see. That's why they used to win all them awards. I don't know if they still win awards like they used to, but man, Call of Duty is like Call of Duty, but Fortnite is crazy.
Call of Duty is like a cult, man. Like,
man, Call of Duty is crazy. I don't too much care for Call of Duty either. So.
But I gotta ask Ness something here. I'm like,
what's up?
I thought you were moving.
I am.
But tell me what's above your head there. Like you're supposed to be putting that stuff in a box, not putting it on the shelf.
Well, that you know what? That brings us to our wonderful topic of what's going on this week.
Yeah, we might as well jump into it. Did you look at it? All right, so guys, if you've been watching my videos, I try to stay on GameStop. In essence too, in essence too, I try to stay up on GameStop. And this week, GameStop did it again. I told y'all, I told you to be listening. I told you to listen to me. Now GameStop marked all of. Okay, remember last year when I was telling that big GameStop video, and all those games were like 50 to 75% off. It was a lot of games GameStop had. Well, that carried over until like February. I think, last week they stopped that and took all those games that were left and they just marked them out on clearance. Some were half off, some were like $4.99, some like Scarlet Nexus, like brand new,
99 cents.
Like brand new games, for the Xbox Series X and stuff. So right now we're just gonna kind of we're asking some questions, but we'll go into like what we got. Ness, you can show everybody what you got and tell the prices and just tell your experience about at GameStop and all these deals and stuff.
Wait, are you guys gonna make me run out to GameStop tomorrow?
You need to in the morning, man.
This is not sponsored by GameStop, so let me put that disclaimer.
I've been holding out, man. Like I watch Steve's videos, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go.
You should have went, man.
And then I watch Ness's videos, and I'm like,
I'll be honest. Like last year was the first time when they did that pro membership. That was amazing. Like it was crazy. But now that I've shifted and said, okay, I want to start collecting more Xbox stuff, and they got games at $5, $3, $2, 99 cents. I went a little bit crazy this week. So
what about peripherals? Like, because I was actually looking at the new
clothes
Kinect.
Are on sale too, man.
Can you get the new Kinect? Not the one for the 3. I think it was the Xbox One, but the new one. Maybe it was the one.
Hey, look, he said sponsored by GameStop and Goodwill.
This is sponsored by GameStop and Goodwill.
If you have it in your area, make sure these guys are not there.
Well, you know what though? Some GameStops aren't doing it because my brother. I told him about it. I sent him your videos, both you guys' videos, and I'm like, I didn't do one because I didn't go out yet. He went tonight. He's like, dude, my GameStop don't have anything. Yeah. I'm like, what? And he said they didn't even know about it. That's what they told him.
Okay. Before Annette showed you the games and stuff, to that is some GameStops that they don't know are because they haven't updated the stickers. And I'm gonna show you some games that haven't been updated.
I told him you were saying that.
So you gotta go take it to the thing and say, hey, is this here? Or what you gotta do is see the games that are on the list, or just look at a game and go to GameStop.com. Go to GameStop.com on the website or the app and look at the price. If the price is different from what it is, say, hey, y'all supposed to match this, and they will. And sometimes
I told him I told him watch you guys' videos and write down the games that he wants and take it in there and say, be like, I know that this is this much money because these guys did it. So I think that's what he's
it is. But I think today is. I really think after today, it's going to start doing it even more because it's like last couple of days they were starting a lot of people, but today they got. Yeah. I went to the GameStop and they had all those games behind the counter and they were getting ready to sticker them. So most GameStops are starting to find out. And then, what did you get, man? He typing all out.
Holy heck! The heck is that?
So first, I need to point this out. GameStop, the GameStops that I go to never have retro at all, and I got these two bad boys right here. So so this is a Doom, a kind of crappy, sticker, but Red Cart Doom, and then Spider-Man, X-Men.
I used to love that Spider-Man.
SNES. I had to get them. I had to get both of them. I would
have done the same thing.
He the manager I was at the first GameStop, and he was like, hey man, how you doing, man? Because he remembered me from last year because I was in GameStop so much.
Because you're sponsored by GameStop.
Yeah, because I'm sponsored by GameStop, right? Yeah. And he's like, hey man, you need to go to the other location. We've got retro games, we've got Cube games, we've got Dreamcast games. I was like, you're lying. And I go over there, they had Power Stone 2 on Dreamcast, just disc only. But they wanted like $84 for it. And I was like, nah, I can't do that.
How much for those? Because
Brandy's so the Spider-Man X-Men was $10. That was it. It was $10.
Hey, man, that game right there is so freaking fun.
Yeah.
Because like
so good.
Back in the day, and back in the day, we really didn't care about like reviews and stuff. Not really, it was just like the gameplay and like, oh, it's a brand new game. So it wasn't as serious as it was like it is now, But man, remember I told you about how my cousin had lost my Nomad, not my Nomad, but my Game Gear.
Yeah.
I took his Sega Genesis in that game because he had lost it.
That's crazy.
We played the mess of that game though. Oh, it was so good. But go ahead, keep going, man.
So the Doom was like $25. I mean, it was crappy. I was like, but you know what? I don't ever see SNES games at GameStop. I think the last time I bought a Super Nintendo at a GameStop related store, it was called Babbage's. So that lets you know how long ago that was.
Yeah, but, where's your GameStop shirt? Inquiring minds want to know.
I don't have a GameStop shirt, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I should have bought one. They were on clearance too. I'm my bad. I just
he's lying. He's lying.
I can buy everything else. Too. I can't bring myself to buy just a GameStop shirt, which I probably should, just because one day they're gonna be gone.
They gave him a hoodie. They gave him a hoodie and everything. The hat.
I'm telling you.
I'll rock a Babbage's shirt all day. Let me find a Babbage's shirt. I will rock that all day long.
They had those GameStop they had those GameStop sweatpants at one point. They won like $40. I was waiting for them joints to go like down like clearance. I was gonna get them. I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna get those.
What company in their right mind thinks you're gonna spend $40 to rep their brand?
Nobody. No. That's a silly. I spent 10, maybe 15. If they keep it clean though.
Let's see.
What do you got?
I put this on the channel. This Vikings Wolves of Midgard was like $10. Vampire was $4.99. Technomancer was $4.99. Siberia 3 was $5.99. Sunset Overdrive was $3.99. Wow. So that was pretty good. Let's see. That's Soul Hackers 2 was $2.99.
Yep.
And I also got a PlayStation 5 version that was sealed. They had those for $10 for PlayStation 5, so I picked one of those up too. Tomb Raider was, how much was this? I can't remember.
Is that Rise or that's Shadows?
Shadow. Okay. This was Shadow. And then Severed Steel was $4.99. Scarlet Nexus was 99 cents.
Nice.
Saint Kotar.
Almost got that.
$5. Rogue Stormers was $5. Metal Gear was $5. Reckoning was $5. Justice League was $5. Let's see what else we got.
I know where I'm going game hunting tomorrow.
I will say this though. If you're going to collect for Xbox, definitely get this Fighting Herds. This is a cool game.
Oh yeah.
And Demon Turf. This is my second copy. I had to get another one.
Okay.
Yeah, now that's
just one of those ones.
Yeah, that Demon Turf. It wrong. It say some people don't change the price. It says $24.99 clearance, right? But if you take it to the counter, it's like $8 and something, $8.49.
That's not bad. I'd like to come in under $10.
I don't know this one. Hold on, let me see. AI,
yeah.
I just saw the cover. I was like, this looks kind of cool. I'm gonna try to play that.
So how much value did you guys get in your stacks that you had? Like I know Neo, you were saying you got like $77 you paid on some of them, right?
So for today's stack, like everything, I think I spent maybe $80-$90 with the SNES stuff. Okay. And then the other day I spent like $60. So I've purchased over 25 games in the last 2 days for,
like 130, 140.
About 130 bucks. Yeah.
So a brand new game at $69.99 is $70. We'll just say with tax, that's 140 for 2 games. And you got 25. Look at this. I got. I don't know how I did that. Don't ask me.
Sponsored, y'all, by GameStop and Goodwill.
So did you do the whole value thing to see what you know what your total value was in that? Do you know?
I haven't done it yet. I haven't even added these into my inventory list. And I just added them to my shelf because I was like, you know what?
I know.
We haven't moved yet. Everything else is in storage. Why not? Let's see how much I can fill this thing up.
So guys, in 2 weeks, me and Steve are going to be saying to him, we're like, I thought you were packing up the move because he's going to have that all filled up with stuff.
Yeah, I just have to have the game room cleared out for when people come to look at the house for house showings. But, like we had one earlier today and I had to, drop everything for work and then leave. But hopefully someone buys this thing so I can get up out of here. And then
somebody turn the Xbox on.
That's me. That's my Xbox.
Oh,
sorry.
I was like, it ain't me because mine's upstairs. My wife's playing mine.
So what I did, right? At GameStop, if you lucky, you can find like crazy stuff. Like this right here was $100 game, right? Marked all the way down to $2.
I really want that. I didn't see that.
Watch Dogs Legion. Wish Dogs. No, Watch Dogs, but it's a steel book.
Mm-hmm.
I have the PS5 version.
Okay, guys. Any NIS games, please grab it. If you see anything NIS or Atlas, just grab it and hold on to it. Because
all day.
This company, NIS and Atlas always takes like great RPGs from Japan and translate them and put them and give a physical copy over in America. And they usually 9 times out of 10 they go up. This is the exact same thing kind of happened back in the day with Rule of Rose. I can't remember who it was by, but like horror games and stuff. You want to grab horror games now and just like horror games, NIS and Atlas games. Or here's another company that's starting new. I can't pronounce it. It's like Sodesco, but Sodesco, I think that's what it's called. But this is Arrowheart. If you see this company right here on right here you go. I'm looking at myself. If you see any kind of company with this logo right here, just pick it up. Because they do these small print run games, and you just don't know how it might like. It might get a cult following and the game shoots up. You just don't know. But this game to me right now, it looks like this is almost kind of like a Legend of Zelda clone. If you look at the back of it, and if my stuff, if it's
so like
you see that
Zelda, Genshin, all those.
It's like a Zelda clone, basically. Yeah, it looked like a Zelda clone for right now. But I'm looking at this like Embark on the Exit Journey. So I'm looking at one part it looks like Zelda. I probably need to play this online and do a video on it. But we got Squadrons for $4.99. Here's one on dollar games. Is it Starbase?
Startopia?
Yeah, Startopia. Starbase.
Yeah, I picked that up today too.
Okay, that's good then. And then what other games right here? Red Out. The new Ghostbusters just came out. Like
I wish I'd have seen that.
Evil Dead, the game, and JoJo's on Xbox.
I was looking for another JoJo's, couldn't find it.
And then like PS, a lot of stuff. What's a dollar game? This is a dollar game right here. Far Cry. I mean, 5 Point. I'm sorry, Far Point.
I was like, Far Cry?
Not Far Cry. I'm sorry, no. Far Cry is like $4.99 though. One of the Far Cries is $4.99. And then here's another steelbook that was $4. Soulstorm.
So
the world. So
you said about Alan Wake. I got that when it first came out because I like this type of games.
Which one, on PS4, PS5?
The PS5 remastered. I got that. I think I paid when it first came out. I think I paid because nobody was buying it. I think I paid like $14 or $15 for it.
Yeah.
And I almost beat it. Me and a couple friends, they like to watch because it's one of those games like you can sit there and watch and like make decisions. Mm-hmm. But you were saying in your video now that people are like selling it and buying it. And I saw on eBay today, some people are ridiculously selling it for $125. Like, why?
Because it was a limited release, and then Alan Wake 2 was so popular and won so many awards. everybody went back and tried to play Alan Wake, and you can get it on 360, but a lot of people wanted the PS5 version.
PS5 version. Okay.
Yeah. So, or I mean, really, people want the PS5 version, then the Xbox, then PS5, Switch, then Xbox. But since it came out on PS5 and Xbox One, and it was a limited release too, so I didn't even know it was a limited release until my boy Mystic, he put it on his channel, and I was like, huh. And I saw the game. I thought it went up. Like, wow. So I called around to my GameStop. One of the GameStop said, "Hey, do y'all have this?" And they said it was one here in Allen, Texas, and it's not that a little close to you, Ness. And well, not close to you, but Allen's closer to you than you are to me.
Close enough. Closer than you. Yeah, closer than you, all the way out to you.
Yeah. And then I went over there and got it. I was like, what's up, Volder? And I went over there and got it and stuff. I was like, oh shoot. And I couldn't believe it because it was $40 though. Because I was thinking it's gonna be $19. And I was like, man, I just go ahead and pay this $40. Because GameStop caught on to like it was expensive. So
yeah, I when I saw that, I was like, finally, there's a game that I don't have to go hunt down. Because I enjoyed the game. It's really cool. Like you're walking through, and anytime it gets dark, that's when the shadow creatures come out at you, and like you get under the light, and it's got a good story behind it. Like trying to hunt what happened to his wife, even though it could be in his head.
I know you like
psychological thriller.
Oh, dude, it is a killer. Like it even has some like jump scare parts in it where
Steve,
like,
you need to play. Steve, you need to play Detroit Becoming Human.
What's it called?
You need to play Detroit Becoming Human.
That's a good one.
Like one of those games. I'm telling you that it's not horror game, but it's like
I like the ones like that. Yeah, I like the psychological thrillers. I like the Resident Evil style. What's it called? I'm gonna write it down here.
Let me Detroit Becoming Human. I think I got it over if I can pick it out and show you real quick.
I've been trying to find a copy. Well, I mean, I'm just probably going to order it online, but I was trying to see if GameStop had a physical copy of Helldivers 2. But the store I went to, they said that they only got 4 copies in because they didn't think it was going to do that well. And then it just exploded. Now they just said they've got tons of people coming in asking for physical copies.
Did GameStop tell you guys? They told me when I went in, because I did a pre-order last week for Alone in the Dark for PS5. They told me going forward, any new title that's coming out, at least this is from my GameStop, they are not ordering any extra.
Yeah,
it's whatever. No. Like if that game comes out and there's only 25 pre-orders, that's all they're getting. You can't go in launch day to buy it.
It's only on certain titles, like the Nintendo titles. They're sending a lot more, but like specialty titles, yeah, it's kind of being like that.
Because I was like, that's dumb. Why would you do that?
Yeah,
I'm not pre-ordering everything.
Well, hey, you know what? Let's take us into our topic of the night and stuff. Like a little bit part of it is the Apple effect, and is the Apple effect on video games, real? Because why I say the Apple effect is, okay, we know every year Apple's gonna come out with a brand new phone. Well, video games are not like that though, but
yeah, they are.
Yeah, well,
2K.
Okay, there we go. Okay, you prove me wrong. All right. Besides, I would say systems. We can say video games with the Madden and sports games, but systems, right? Like, we just been in what? We just looked at a PS5 came out 2020, right?
2020, November 12th.
Yes, 2020. Yeah. It ain't been good 3 years. Now they talking about moving to a PS5 Pro, and the Xbox is talking about moving to a new stuff. That's the fastest I ever seen a transition to a video game like system, right? And when you look at Nintendo, they've been about to hit 7 years, maybe 8 years with the Switch, and because technology now moving so freaking fast, are we like spoiled because of the iPhone? Because we get a new one every year, but with minimal updates? Or like, just talk about this. Because Steve, you talk a lot about tech. We used to talk about a lot of tech also. So we was there for the release of all this stuff, this new generation of stuff. And last week was talking about like we have a ceiling with video games right now. It's like a physical ceiling what's going to be new, what's going to be next. You know, like Apple Vision Pro is kind of like, you know, it's good, but what do you think, Steve? Like, I don't want to say we want to blame Apple, but did they just kind of like set a standard that like, everybody's expecting like something needs to come out every 2 to 3 years? And video games don't work like that except for like Madden and other games and stuff. But what do you think, Steve?
I think we in this space have, just like you just said, every 7 years. And I think if they don't keep to that, people lose their mind. And Apple and all the technology companies have made it the standard that every year a new phone comes out. But let me throw it out to you guys in the audience. I don't know about you, but I don't upgrade my phone every year anymore. I'm lucky to do it once every 3 years because the technology from the iPhone 10, at least for Apple, I'm going to say Apple. I'm not going to speak for Android because I stopped using that back with Google Glass. But it seems like
you just saw that video.
Listen, I was part of the Explorer program. I got in on the original Nexus before it went to the Pixel.
I did too. I remember we did those shows about that.
We did it. Yeah, we wanted pure Google. If we were going to go to Google, Steve and I were like, we're all in with Google. We're not going to Samsung. We're not going to, whatever.
They were great too.
They were really good, but I think we've gotten to the point. The only thing that you're getting different with these phones from iPhone 10, minor features and software, but the camera. That's it. You're getting a better camera, and does that really justify you in upgrading it every year and getting that expense, or just waiting till your contract's up and they give you $700, $800, $900 to trade in your old one towards your new phone?
I was so close this year to going to the 15, but I knew the hell that I had when I went from the 13 to the 14 Pro, and I was like, I'm not doing that no more. Nope. And everybody was like posting and got a new phone. I was like, I need to get it. And I like, you
were getting FOMO.
I was getting FOMO, and you said, you know what? I'm not doing it because it's not enough right now for me to make that. I'm so happy. Pro. My phone is paid off.
That's it. I went from the 12 to that, and I said to Steve, I was like, dude, don't do it. Like right now you're getting a deal. There's not much difference. But
to your point though, you just said FOMO, right? Let's go back a couple of years. So we said what? PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X both came out in 2020. Both the same month, 2 days apart.
Xbox came out in 2020?
Yeah.
Really?
It came out November 10th.
They both launched at the same time.
Yeah, so
during COVID.
2 days later, they spread apart. But let's look at it from this perspective. The FOMO was insane because we had supply and demand issues from everybody wanted a console, everyone had all this time, and now we're back to the normal lifestyle of we can find these in the store. Like I can go to a Target and see a PS5 just chilling there in the case right now, a Series X chilling in the case right now.
Switch OLED. Yep.
Yeah, Switch OLED. We can see all these consoles now. The problem is that
listen, hold on before you say that. Remember how we was like when the Zelda Switch OLED came out?
Oh, bro!
Remember we
was like, insane.
And we was like, why are so many Zelda? Remember when we went
so many of them.
Remember when we went to the store, the furniture store, and they was lined up.
All of them. They were stacked to the ceiling, full. I was like, "Whoa, this is not a special edition at all."
No, it wasn't.
The Pokemon Scarlet was more uncommon than the Zelda one. I thought the Zelda one was just going to be like very small quantities, and you get it, and you're done. Yeah. But you can still find those. I mean, hell, you can still find the Scarlet Switches out there. But it goes back to this point now where we're in a time now where we're in a clash with the new generation of gamers and then us older folks, the old heads, the old schools of gaming, and their style of gaming is, I can do this digitally. I can do this quickly. I need the latest, greatest, best thing in terms of tech right now. So now companies are starting to tailor more and more towards that genre of the consumer. However, in terms of console-based sales, we're still in this limbo right now because we're like, we have two great console or three great consoles that are pumping out decent games, and from a Nintendo standpoint, I think they've squeezed out just about as much as they can out of that console, which is great. Now, out of Xbox and PlayStation, not so much. I don't think they've scratched the surface in terms of full depth.
Let me hit you on that Switch.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from Nintendo? And I'm saying that not as a disrespectful thing. Tell me, because 99%, maybe that's too much. 97% of the games on there are very cartoony.
On what now? Cartoony?
Yeah,
on Switch. What could Nintendo possibly do to make it even better? Like, you're not going to find games like some of these other Horizon. You're not going to find games like that that's graphically intense on this system.
And I don't want you to think that when I'm talking about the Switch that I'm comparing it in terms of graphic capabilities. No, I'm saying that when I mean they squeezed out as much as they can from the Switch, I was like, they've done it correctly. Right. They've done it correctly. Their business plan in terms of generating good quality games, they've stayed within the realm and threshold of what they're able to generate on that platform. PlayStation and Xbox, on the other hand, it's kind of like we get a really, really good game and we get to see all these great enhanced features inside the game. And then the next 5 games that come out, we're like, was this on PS3 or PS4? Right. So it's just, there's just this inconsistency from a Microsoft and a Sony standpoint, whereas Nintendo, me giving props to Nintendo, they're consistent. And that's just because they have more, IPs. That just, it is what it is. Like, it's just more first party games that they produce. So of course, in-house, they can do more. Whereas Sony's got their first parties too. And so does Microsoft. But when it all comes down to it, that's going to play a motion in this process in terms of how do we judge going out and buying a console in the next 4 years versus the next 7 to 8 years. Right. That's where the Apple effect comes into play, because for me, I moved from an iPhone 12 to a 14 Pro, and my standpoint was, okay, I'm filming stuff on YouTube. I want a better phone, even though I knew the 15 was going to be out in a month. And then when I looked at the features, I'm like, no, it's not enough. Okay, yeah, we've got USB-C. Okay, everybody in the world's on USB-C. It took Apple this long to get it instead of the Lightning charger. Okay, great. What else? Okay, a couple of pixels more on the camera.
Do you
not
use
enough.
the magnet on the back? That's how I charge my phone. I don't use no stupid
Exactly.
cable. I just lay it down on the magnet.
Use a magnet.
I use both. Mine's actually like.
In the car, I do like that, Steve, because of CarPlay. But let me ask you guys something. Okay, remember when the Wii U was on its last legs and they were killing it off, so to speak, to go with the new, like Breath of the Wild was last. That was it. They weren't bringing anything else out. Yeah. Nintendo keeps pumping out titles. Sony keeps pushing titles. Xbox, well, that's another story. But my point is, if people really think a Switch 2 is coming this year, I feel like they're going to be sadly disappointed, because Nintendo's making money hand over fist, re-releasing old hardware with Zelda and Pokemon and anything else they can throw on it.
Listen, Nintendo is going to beat PlayStation on the most systems ever sold. They're going for that PS2.
I agree with
record.
that. They're
going for that PS2 record. They want that freaking PS2 record. And another thing too, they learned from the Wii U, because when the Wii U released, it wasn't nothing out. Games, right? It was no games out, right? So if Nintendo wants to release something like Apple, they're not going to release something until they have some brand new features. They have to have a selling point. Nintendo has to have a selling point. Why are you going to go to a new Switch 2? What's going to make you? What games are you going to play? What games you can't play on the old Switch? Just like the iPhone, I can't play Resident Evil 4 on here, even though I got a 14 plus. I can't, or I might can, but I can't play as good as the 15 because of the new chip and all that kind of stuff. They always have a new feature. And another thing, the Apple effect. This, and I believe this in my heart, Nintendo and Apple are the same kind of way. And I'll tell you like this: Nintendo and Apple fans or haters, whatever, will push all of these rumors out, and then when the product finally lands, they're mad because the rumors weren't true.
Oh yeah.
How silly is that?
Oh,
how silly is that right there?
I didn't even think of it like that.
Nintendo never comments, never ever comments about a rumor. Apple never comments about a rumor. These two companies are so much alike, it's not funny. Listen, let me tell you about something. They will use old technology and will sell billions or millions.
Oh, yeah.
They say billions, millions. Apple and Nintendo are one and the same.
How many times have you guys bought Super Mario Brothers?
About 20 times.
Well, what are you talking about? On what console?
I'm just saying, like you bought it back when you were a kid, or your parents bought it. Then you bought it when there was the mismatch of when it went to Super Nintendo for Super Mario All-Stars. It was on there, and just the re-release after re-release. Oh, and then they did Super Mario, what was it, 25, where you played against all these other people and things would pop.
You know what?
So the Nintendo, what was it, $100 a year, and you get the Nintendo games on the Switch?
Steve, I tell you why. Because look at what we're wearing right now. We both wear Nintendo products. Nintendo give you that sense of no, I'm saying when you buy a Nintendo product, like anything,
it's like buying Apple.
It is, but you know you're getting quality.
That's right.
When you have an iPhone, right? People know that you got quality. Used to a long time ago, an iPhone used to be a status symbol. Not no more. Back in the day, Nintendo used to be a status symbol. Like, oh, you got a Nintendo? What? Like, that used to be a status. It's not like that no more.
Everybody called.
If you look at Apple and Nintendo, they are one and the same.
You could have had Atari, you could have had Sega, and everybody's like, I got a Nintendo at home, and you get to their house, and it's like, you don't got Nintendo, you got like Atari, or you got Sega. Everybody called their video game system a Nintendo.
Nintendo, yeah.
Everything was Nintendo.
And most folks call a smartphone like an iPhone.
It's an iPhone. Yeah. But that's the same thing like with the watches, right? Like I don't know about you guys, but I just upgraded mine this year, and I think I had an Apple Watch 4. I think that was the last time I had bought a watch because I hadn't upgraded it. Because again, it's the technology. Like you don't need to do that. My thing is, if they announce the new Switch 2 that everybody's talking about, say next year, and it's all digital, I'm out.
Yeah,
that's just the bottom line. I'm not doing an all digital console. I'm not doing it.
I don't think we here could. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't do it. I'll buy it, but I wouldn't be happy about it.
What are you gonna do if a day like yesterday happens when AT&T goes down? You have no internet. You can't access your games. Forget phone calls. You ain't accessing your games. Your phone calls, nothing.
Well, it does happen actually, and y'all seen me on the podcast, and I've been struggling with AT&T service over here, where I'm in and out, and I'm over here like, mid conversation and just fade to black. I'm out.
What are you going to do when you're at the boss, man? You put 15, 20, 30 hours in this game, and all of a sudden it just goes, and it freezes. What are you going to do?
You better hope you got quick resume.
Not quick resume.
But seriously, like that's my fear with all digital, and I'm like, I'd rather just stick and play the old stuff then. That I can control the cartridge.
You know what? When I was in GameStop today, and I don't know
how much they pay you.
I'm not. No, but
this is me as much as I be doing the videos.
This is hand in hand with the topic right now, because me and the manager were chatting, and I was like, I normally don't come to GameStop like that, and I was like, I'm trying to support you guys a little bit. He's like, man, you don't even. He's like, you don't even have to tell me that.
What trying to do?
He came in full GameStop.
He was like, you don't have to tell me that. He's like, I appreciate you coming in for physical because you really don't have to buy these. You can just go and get this digital. I was like, I know that. He's like, I like what I'm doing from, just being able to support other gamers that come into the store and buy physical. What I hate is the corporate behind all of this. That's what he told me. I hate the corporate behind it because they don't know what they're doing. And I was like,
they haven't been knowing what they're doing. That's why I stick away from talking about that. They have been knowing what they're doing the last 5 years.
And yeah, I'm not trying to take it into a negative place or anything like that, but I say all that for this reason, that I think it's not just the consumer. It's not just us that says, hey, I want the next best thing. It's also those corporate folks that are just as greedy. You know, like, oh, this one sold really good. Well, let's see if we can change this one little feature, this little minuscule feature, and see if we can pump another $1,500 out of them real quick, right? I mean, let's look at it from a console perspective too, right? PS5, we know we can do a Pro right now when we drop it day one, but let's go ahead and wait another year, and then we'll squeeze them out for another Pro. We got all the technology needed to give it, you know, the best version of this console already, but no, let's squeeze them for a little bit more down the road. And then we'll do a 2.5 later on, and we'll put a skin on top of it and say, hey, guess what? This is the Spider-Man edition. This is the Wolverine edition. And we're going to charge you another one for that.
Well, wait a second.
Hey, hold on.
No, I'm not bashing you. I'm not bashing Spider-Man. I'm just saying, no, because Xbox is known for that too.
Wait, no, I want to bash him. Can I bash him?
Halo, all that.
I love bashing him. He's the reason right now that GameStop will take games now and they go through it, that somebody donates and they send it back to corporate so they can sell it online at the price that, just like that, they'll take that game. Somebody will donate it for free instead of putting it in their.
They don't even keep these in store. No. When I was talking to him today, he was like, man, it's good, because he's like, these would be here for another week and then we have to ship them out to the warehouse.
Shovelware is the only thing, that's what the one kid told me that's working there. Shovelware is the only thing they'll put on their shelves at Goodwill now, because game collectors are coming in and finding a little Samson on the shelf that they're donated, and Goodwill is losing that money. And GameStop's doing the same thing. You'll never find a super expensive.
You know what the craziest thing about that for Goodwill? It's free for them.
That's what I'm saying.
It's pure profit for them.
I'm saying guys like this that's been doing YouTube videos showing us how to go to Goodwill to get this stuff. They're the reason that Goodwill's doing it. And I'm saying that with all amount of respect for the guys that are doing that.
Oh no,
they told us that. They told us that. They said we're leaving money on the table, they said.
I agree.
And guess what? When you go on shopgoodwill.com, in that same game that was in the shill bidding and the bidding in general, it's way past what price charting's ever going to do, what eBay's going to do. I'm like, why are y'all doing this right now?
I apologize, guys. I'm part of that project.
It's not just you, though.
No, it's collectors in general. And you know what they told me too? When they'll get in like a retro system, let's say they've gotten a top loader NES complete in box. He told me this happened 2 weeks ago with 50 games. Okay. And a lot of the games were like DuckTales 2.
Oh, wow.
They were Bucky O'Hare in this thing.
Oh,
they sold it to the guy for $20. He also buys baseball cards there. So he took it up to the video game store that's up there. We call it the Exchange, where we're at. Took it in there, sold it all to him, walked away with almost $1,500 cash.
Woo! That's a come up right there.
And that's after the exchange, because the guy came back and told the kid's a collector too. That's how I know all this stuff. So he's just like, bro, you're wasting your time here anymore unless you're trying to collect for like basic titles that you need for your collection to fulfill like the complete. But they're killing it. They're killing the fun of game hunting and collecting by doing that.
This is why I'll never find a Neo Geo game in Goodwill.
Nope.
Now, don't get me wrong. ShopGoodwill.com has had AES games on there.
Oh yeah.
And I was trying my damnedest to buy like 4 or 5 of those jokers because they were dirt cheap. And then the last 10 minutes, skyrocket. I'm like, well, that's out of my price range.
When was the last time you were at Goodwill and you actually found a banger of a title that you were like, oh my gosh, this thing's like worth XYZ, like it's up $100. Let's just say $100.
For him, it's last year for sure. For me,
but that's last year. That wasn't, as much as he was going out with his videos, that series that I watched, he was getting it every single time he was going.
No.
You
You see him get it right. You don't. So he runs the same route I run. Actually, no, he runs his route and my route for Goodwill. He comes an hour north and takes all my damn games.
Hold on. So now you see, look, like I put in the work though.
You do.
But
you do put in the work.
But you were going every day. But you at least. My point is, let's say you did a video a week on game hunting. Okay.
Yeah.
You had a banger in every video every week, whether you searched all week or not. It doesn't matter. You still had, like, guys, I found this. You need to get out there because this is out. You can't see that anymore, and that's nothing against you. It's because they're catching on. They're getting smart.
I mean, everybody, even new collectors are coming in. You know,
shops are catching on.
Let me go. But I mean, you go to a Goodwill now, all you're going to see is sports games and Call of Duty and Halo and Borderlands and Fallout. Those are the games that you're going to see there.
And a whole bunch of Xbox 360 Connect games.
That's what I find all the time is Xbox. I found a few PlayStation 2 games that
Wii Fit. Like, what the hell? All the damn Wii Fit.
I think I paid. They were $1.50 a piece, and I think I got like 6 or 7. But I ended up with $60 worth of PlayStation 2 games.
It's not like it's not like it was before COVID.
You know what, Steve? Now that I remember, you went out of town. This is the beginning of last year. This is when I first started on YouTube. He went out of town. I think you went to a convention. And I went to the Goodwill that he found. What was the Super Nintendo game you found there?
Earthbound.
It was the Goodwill that he found Earthbound in. Tell me why I walk in, and from a distance I see PlayStation 2. I'm like, all right, cool. We in here. They put some PlayStation 2 games out. So the first half of the shelf, PlayStation 2 games all the way across. I was like, oh my God. I mean, yoink this one, yoink this one, yoink this one, yoink this one. I walk around to the opposite side. They've got another 40 PlayStation 2 games chilling. I snatched almost all of those jokers. All of them. That was the best Goodwill haul.
I'm out of town too. It's like,
I sent him a picture straight away. I was like, bruh, take a look. He's like, no. My games. I was like, no, sucker, these are my games. Because I'll tell you this, like, when I finally got them back too, because I get up early. I get up early one morning on a Saturday morning. I'm like, I'm gonna hit these Goodwills.
You snooze, you lose.
And I walk in, and this dude is walking out with a bag of games, and I was like,
oh, I remember that day.
You remember that? Me and him hadn't really started talking yet. Like, we hadn't, really gotten chummy or anything yet. And he's like, oh man, I got this game. I was like, oh my God, those are all good games. He's like, I left you some over there. Trash. Madden, MLB.
So hey, can you pull up
missing inserts and manuals just scratched up? I was like, you ain't leave me shit.
Yeah, the first shooter tonight.
Can you bring up That's Real's comment in there where he said not all Goodwills, they all operate very different.
They do.
So maybe it's just my area that has them, but a lot of them that's what they said.
A lot of Goodwills are so different because like one Goodwill
prices too.
Like today,
really?
Yeah, prices are different. Like when I go to Oklahoma, the prices are different for their games up there.
Wow. Yeah, like my pawn shops, I can get I think my games are cheaper at the pawn shops than even Steve
I got this in Goodwill today, right? And this right here, I just wanted it. But it was just sitting there, right? It was like, but I turned aside, it was like $5.
It's just sitting there going.
They're going up on the prices.
But usually PS4 games are like $7-8, and this is
that's right.
Game. Yeah, this is a good game. I was like, huh. I looked in it and like it was like oops. It was like great. I looked at no scratches on the disc.
How much did you pay for it?
No, $5.99. It wasn't.
That's not bad. That's good. At Goodwill.
Yeah, and then I looked on price chart and it's like price chart around by like $12 to $15. So I'm like, okay. It's the Tomb Raider game.
And you know what? We're kind of at that crossroads now with Goodwill with their pricing to where I have to scan before I pick it up. I'm like, I want to get that game. Yep. But I'm like, you asking $5.99, how much is this actually worth? I'm like, this is a $6 game. This is a $7 game. It's not worth it for me to go ahead and get that. I might be able to get it on. Hell, like some of these games that we got at GameStop, no sponsorship.
He's like leaving scrap.
I'm telling you, like some of them are cheaper than a lot of these games were cheaper than what I would get at Goodwill.
See, all my Goodwill games are $1.50.
What?
Every game. I can show you PS2 games that I got that are worth like $20-$25. They're $1.50.
Man, I wish they were.
Pawn shop. They want for if you get anything older than a PS4, it's $3.99 a game. PS4. Xbox One is $6.99, and if you find any PS5s or Xbox Series X games, those games I think they're $7.99 or $8.99. I forget, but because I go in there all the time, if I come up to the register with a stack, like 20 games, she'll give them to me for $3.99 a piece, all across the board.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, sometimes you can't get hooked up. Goodwill. It depends on who was working there. Remember, I showed y'all in the chat. I went to this Goodwill and this girl was frustrated because she was getting ready to quit, and I had got an Xbox Series S and a whole bunch of games. She gave me everything for like $10.
Wow!
Remember that Xbox One that had Yeet on it?
Yeet.
And he straight yeeted that into a trade too.
I did. Yeet. I used it with some of the games. Some of the Neo Geo stuff, like eat
that you just yeeted off too.
Yeah. Let me show you something. What I gotta get. Let me show you what I got at a Goodwill for $5. Hang on.
Uh-oh. We got something good.
So while we saying that, also guys, while he doing that, I am over the next couple weeks. We are gonna be giving away some games. I'm gonna be giving away like Madden and like this Startopia, like this dollar game right here, but. Scarlet Nix. I'll be giving some games away. I might try to do one. What?
You need to give away them games from Christmas, son.
I know they still right here. What are you talking about?
I brought some decent games over there to give away.
Look, and Ness, he brought this. Look, Ness brought this right here. We got to do something to how to get this. This is a big one right here. We got to get that away. And then Ness got these two games right here.
Whoa!
Oh, a slim PS2.
What color is that?
Silver. That's the silver gray
for $5.
$5, baby.
Does it work?
100% it works.
Nice.
Hell
I
yeah.
have a white one too. I have a white one.
You have a
$5. And then I got $1.50.
That looks just like you. It's like you on the cover.
You got this one.
Ooh, 12. Nice.
Metal Gear Solid.
3.
Ooh, Snake Eater. Nice.
Yep, 3. Yep.
TAC 2. Nice.
No,
Are they all complete?
Like you put it back up there. Let me see. Oh, TAC 3. Yeah, that looks just like you. That looks like you.
Oh, shut up. Look at their Steve.
Dang.
I take
and they're all Goodwill?
These are all Goodwill. And then I got these. They're sealed. It's a
what is that?
It's like a demo.
Front Mission 4.
Send me that demo disc, Steve.
And then I got this Ultimate Codes one for PS2.
Those are great.
I remember those. Yeah.
Because I know they're hard to get. I got picked up this one too.
Hey, that's a good game. The Coco series.
And I don't know if you guys saw on there. I had the jam packs. I found jam packs because I figured they're not always easy to find. These jam packs that have, they're demos, but they're like $5 or $6 a piece. Mm-hmm. And then Burnout, that's a good game. Burnout.
Yeah, that's a really good game.
So that's what I said, for $1.50 a piece. My son and I were just like grabbing them, but we left the sports games, but because it's like,
no, you got to leave the sports games, man. You got to leave those.
But that's the first time I found a system. Okay.
Sports games. Look at this.
Look at this joker here with all this.
I'm gonna try to get some of these away too, but no, GameStop gave me all of these. These are the games that they can't sell no more.
Wait. Back up. Pause.
He kind of got it a little bit. No, seriously.
We're sitting here, we're busting on Elliot here with being sponsored by. What did you just say? GameStop gave them to you?
Yeah, they didn't give me nothing for free.
I just gave them to. I asked because I always ask. You don't.
Audience,
Close mouth don't get fed, son. What you talking about?
Man, them games is coasters. All them
Audience.
games.
Yeah, they are coasters.
I hereby declare.
Yeah, I'm with Zach. That whole stack is $1.50.
I am not sponsored by GameStop like these two. That's my disclaimer. I actually pay for my stuff at GameStop, not like these two.
Hey! I paid for my stuff too. Come on now.
Somebody want African Safari Adventures.
Hey, no, I like that game. That's a really good game.
You like this game?
Yeah, man. I wish they had it on Big Buck Hunter.
No, you know what? Hey, I'm not gonna lie. This does make a good Switch kiosk demo disc because you can use a gun and you can shoot.
I have the Wii gun where you put the controller into it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're not into hunting, but it is.
I'm
fun.
not into hunting, but you somebody come over and they want to play a shooting zapper.
Heck
game.
yeah, little kids love those games, man.
Yeah,
play it all day long. Salvation Army is where I need to go because the one Salvation Army I went to, they thought they had gold when it came to retro video games.
Yeah, I was thinking they had Mario.
Yeah, they're like this. Yeah, they're like,
we got Mario.
See this game right here? You see what the price tag was at GameStop? Yeah, we're gonna sell it for $10 more because it's retro. That's what the lady said to me in there, and I was like, "You have a wonderful day, ma'am," and I left.
Yeah, and we I mean, yeah, it hurts too because then you've got. I think there was I was watching earlier the auctions for some sealed stuff, for some graded stuff. I just came across it on YouTube, and a Zelda first print sold for like $200K. I was like, what? Why is this stuff selling for so much? Like, even in this economy, like, what? disposable income for sure. I'm like, damn, we get some of that cash.
But now, look, getting back onto it, like, the video game, I think the technology, like especially the cell phone industry, has really it has changed the video game industry, especially remember at one point, all those free to play games or like games and stuff like that. And now you can get full like console games like on your iPhone, like Assassin's Creed, Resident Evil and stuff like that on iPhone 15 and even stuff with, in other phones that are higher than that. Or
they look good too.
Yeah, they look really, really good, and it just, that Apple effect goes a really long way, and it changed a lot, especially with Nintendo and stuff like that. And people, 3 years in, we talking about getting another system. When we was in the PlayStation 4, we didn't get a Pro probably 4 or 5 years in, maybe.
The Pro was like, it was late in the game.
Was it late in the game?
It was late in the game when Pro came out. Let me look. I'll look it up real quick.
When was the PlayStation 4 released in the PlayStation 4 Pro? And then you can tell a little bit of leap with that. Really, right now, I really think the PlayStation, like I said last time, I'm a PlayStation guy. I think the PlayStation 5 is the PlayStation 4 Pro, really.
Yeah, it was November 15th, 2023 for the PlayStation 4. And then the Pro was released 3 years later. Damn.
Hold on. You said 2023.
I'm sorry, 2013.
Oh, 2013.
Yeah, and then the Pro was released in 2016. So 3 years later.
So I guess it didn't seem.
I thought it was longer than that.
I guess
it seemed longer than that.
So Steve,
that's what happens when you have better games that get dropped.
Not to get off your because I want to go back to that too with the technology, but pull up That's Real's comment about, can y'all speak on the Xbox 360 store closing and how it will affect the prices of most games? And I think you need to do a video and talk to people about, since the Xbox 360.
I've been working on some of that stuff. Like,
the PlayStation, say these are the games right now, folks. You need to get out there and maybe do a series on it and talk about it.
Well, that's what I'm doing now.
Yep,
that's what I've been doing lately. The most expensive games, and I did a video that's still doing really well. And thank y'all for watching that video. It's still one of the highest videos. Well, it's moving up on the videos and stuff. But yeah, 360. the 360 generation, the Xbox 360 was special. Was very
Hell yeah, it was special.
It was special. It was one of a kind. It was great. Even all the stuff it went through, the red ring of death, it had banger after banger, great games, great ports.
They owned the market for the time.
They did. For them 7-8 years, they did.
It owned it.
If you have it, like I said, like Bayonetta on Xbox 360 plays so much better on 360 than it is on the PS3. And you just got it.
I just got it from GameStop.
You just got
sponsored.
it. Yeah. Not sponsored. Hey, I wish GameStop, if you're watching, I know you watch GameStop. I know you watch some of my videos. Somebody Herbert told me. Thank you so much for watching the videos. Sponsor this. Sponsor the podcast. No.
We're all about physical here. Yes. We like to keep it physical.
And I don't never do bad videos about you guys. I don't do all positive. But no, the 360 stuff right now, I just think you just need to start grabbing just good games. You need to grab horror games. You need to grab RPG games and games that says only on Xbox.
Definitely only on Xbox. Like I think the two Xbox videos just regarding the Neo Geo and SNK stuff, like the OG Xbox, there was tons of only on Xbox, and then 360 there was one in that listing that had only on Xbox for a game. So it's just I'm on super high level with this Xbox thing right now. Like I've been collecting Xbox for a lot of years, but like now I've shifted over and really started picking up like a lot of the titles that I was like, I'm picking up a lot of these Neo Geo games. I needed to chill on everything else. Now I'm like, the Neo Geo games are not in front of me anymore. And the only consoles that I really have out in front of me are my PlayStation and my Xbox, which is the majority of time that I spend on outside of, the couple times a week that I play my Neo Geo AES. But Xbox is my main go-to. I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get these games before I'm not saying that they're going to go up in price. I'm not going to be one of those fear motors. You got to go get it out now. You got to go get it for the reason. Like, I'm not going to say all that crap. I'm just going to say like,
hey, watch your back.
My bad. I ain't going to say it like that. I'm not bashing you. I get it. I'm just saying.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
I'm just saying, like, I generally, when I get these intuitions on things, I'm generally right. I just don't follow through on them. So this time I'm actually going to follow through on it. I'm like, oh, I'm okay. I'm going to go get my Xbox games. All the ones that I want, I'm going to get them now while they're cheap and no one doesn't care about them. Cool. They mine. I'll take them.
This sale didn't show, these last two sales haven't shown you something. And what Steve was talking about earlier, like pre-order and all that kind of stuff.
Bruh. How is that a sustainable business? How are you a sustainable business?
Hey, yeah, FIFA 19
doing these discounts.
I've been looking for FIFA 19.
What's up with FIFA 19?
It's just one of the last FIFA on the 360, and it's like
$35
to $50 game sometimes. Keg, what's up, man? How you doing?
What up, Keg? What up, what?
What you do? All right, Steve. So you was talking about you want to go back to the technology part. What you over there? What you playing with yourself? What's wrong, dude? You froze?
No, I'm good. I'm working on something here. It's very important.
He got a joke. Here you go.
We'll let him continue.
Listen here, you guys. Okay, we're gonna roll with this. Okay.
Here we go. But like I said, hey, y'all make sure y'all go get this Demon Turf. Look out for that game because
that game is actually really good.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird, but it's actually really good.
Here you go. Look at this.
Oh my god! I love it. This guy is sponsored by GameStop above me. Keep gaming on. We're going to take a brief intermission because this guy above me is sponsored by GameStop. Oh, and
I actually got that comment in one of my videos one time. You must be sponsored by GameStop.
Wait, who said that?
No, somebody said that in one time. I don't know that it might have been you now, but no, somebody said that in one of my videos. And we're like, and I just like, so you don't want any kind of good deals? I said, I'm sorry you got PTSD at GameStop. Some people have PTSD from GameStop. I understand. Some GameStops are really, the people there are really not knowledgeable, and they really are kind of an a-hole. Some of them are, especially people who can't deal with people.
Man, I you know what? I actually like your positive Goodwill videos. I'm not Goodwill, I'm sorry, GameStop videos, because you know why? Because every other video out there is just like this massive bash session of all this negativity. Like, oh, they shut down, everybody quit. Oh, they're going out of business. I'm like, bruh, you gonna do this for like the next 5 videos, and that's all you're gonna talk about is how GameStop sucks and all this? I'm like, at the end of the day, you still got people working there. They still got bills to pay, so they work there regardless.
GameStop closed. That's the one thing I do. I hate when somebody say that. I hope GameStop closed. So you hope somebody loses their job because you didn't get your way at GameStop, because you didn't get a video game.
I'll tell you this: GameStop shuts down. It is a freaking wrap.
It is.
It is a wrap.
Where are we going to go?
It is a wrap for physical.
I tell you what's going to happen. If GameStop closes, you're going to have all these folks going to try to go to GameStop then to buy all of the clean stuff, all the cheap stuff whenever a store closes, trying to get kiosks, trying to get everything in GameStop. And then they're like, man, I sure wish we had somewhere to buy physical
games. It's gonna be Blockbuster all over again.
I sure wish we had somewhere to buy.
He changed it.
To come with it.
Check Kevin's comment in the chat.
You said what now?
Kevin's chat in the comment in the chat. I'm sorry.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
It said talk about. He said, "What's up, Mr. Right? Talk about this
Afro Samurai, bro."
Ooh.
Fire game. Fire game. If you do not have, like, you can get it on PS3 also, but like, I'm just saying, like, get it on Xbox 360. It was really well done on 360.
It's so good.
It's so such a good game.
I love
anime's great. The anime is great too. Really good. So
Samuel, he that little dude, what Samuel was doing, you know.
I actually have like my custom artwork. I had in my game room was done by an artist, and he did Afro Samurai for me. So I had that in my game room before I took everything out. But yeah, I love Afro Samurai.
I tell you another game that everybody need to get, and it's cheap. Well, it's not cheap no more. My bad. Asuka's Wrath. Is it like I said?
Oh, Asura's Wrath.
Asura's Wrath. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! If you love anime games, if you love anything like Dragon Ball Z, any kind of anime games,
that game was fire.
Such a good game, man. Especially how they do their chapters and their levels. Their levels are like episodes.
Yeah.
And it's, oh my god.
Did you ever get it with like you could do like the
downloaded content?
Well, yeah. I'm talking about the secret with like Akuma in there from Street Fighter.
I've seen it, but I haven't done it.
Oh, it's so dope. It's so freaking fire. It's so fire. Oh my god. Yeah, but those are the solid games.
Okay, so they're $30 game. Oh no, sorry. Oh my gosh.
What's wrong?
The games on 360, Asura's Wrath on 360 is like price charging around like 47. Excuse me, 47. PS3 is like 46. The game is starting to go up now because people are starting to find out how good
it's been like it really hasn't been below $20.
The Afro Samurai 2, the Afro Samurai 2 on PS4 got delisted quick. I didn't know Afro Samurai 2 came out.
No, there wasn't was there Afro Samurai 2? How did I miss that if I didn't know that?
Got delisted? Afro Samurai 2? Huh. Really? Was it Afro
Revenge
Samurai?
of Kuma? Well, that's the show. Where's the video game?
It's on PS. Look, it's on PS4. I mean, somebody is on PS4. Oh, it did get delisted really quick. Yeah, it did.
Was there a physical?
It says no. It was a disappearance of Afro Samurai 2. Explain. It says been removed from Steam and the PlayStation Store. This happened in 2017.
The reviews on it weren't very good.
The game was a failure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Damn, man, that'd have been dope to try to look for one of those because I had no idea. Yeah. I didn't even know. I knew about the first one. Love the first one.
It said it was really that bad. Okay. Yeah, someone said that it was really worse.
Pulled from PS4 Steam by publisher. Full refunds. Apologizes to all purchasers for failure. Damn, it was that bad. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a video about like PS3 and Xbox 360 games and stuff that I've been. Well, you watch the 360 game, you should get those games. Like X-Men Wolverine, such a good game. On the PS3, what's that game? I can't think. I had to go look at it. It's a lot of great games during that generation.
But there's got to be a list that you know of that you or that you think that the games are going to be hard to come by.
Oh, I know them in my head.
Just like this.
No, I know them in my head because I mean that's like one of my second favorite generations. So.
I mean, to be honest, even for like the modern stuff now, because I think we're seeing it more now where developers are dropping games and then the backlash from the community is so bad they automatically just pull stuff and delist it automatically within the first couple of weeks. They're like, okay, this was trash. Let's not even deal with this. Like perfect example was Babylon's Fall for PS4, PS5. With Square Enix. They pulled that off. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be one of those, even though it's a trash game, it's going to be one of those games that's going to be super obscure in the next like 8 years.
If you don't have it for the Nintendo Switch, one of the launch titles, 1-2 Switch, go buy it. Yeah. Guarantee you won't find it for under $50 for one.
Or ARMS.
Or ARMS. Those games are going to be super tough in the next year or two to find. I'd put money on that because they're already hard to find. You won't find them in GameStop or anything like that unless they were traded in. But yeah, I mean, you'll still possibly get it on Amazon, eBay, places like that. But the only reason I know that is because my daughter wanted it at Christmas time because my son had it. It was because again, it was a launch title. So to your point, Ness, like some of these modern ones, just like we saw with Alan Wake, right? Like these are some of the games that are going to be tough. But that's where I think, like with the modern stuff, there really wasn't much of a difference from PS4 to PS5, except a little bit of graphical change.
No.
And from Xbox One to One X. So what are they going to possibly do hardware-wise? Like give you 8K when most of us only have 4K TVs just now? I ain't paying
for 8K TVs right now. They're just too expensive.
I'm not buying an 8K.
So like you can't see that. I'm sorry. Like I have 2010 vision. You know, like 4K is perfectly fine right now. It's perfectly fine for my vision. But like when you start talking about this 8K and
they have to go VR
and 24 karat magic, you know, all this nonsense. I'm like, come on, bro. 24 karat magic, you know.
They have to go and make the experience kind of like what Apple did with the Vision Pros that they did. They have to go to VR or AI. They got to do something like that, right? Like you can't. You have to immerse yourself in it because, like you said, the graphics aren't really going to make people go, yeah, I'm going to go spend $800 for a new PS6.
Ooh, that comment right there.
Yeah, what was it this Outrun 2?
Oh, man.
Oh, hey, what Keg said, remember Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time Reshell? It was so freaking good. I still have it. I think I have it on my 360. And you still, if you bought it, you still can download it. I hope I still got it on 360, but it make it hard for you, Pauls, to download it on your 360. That's how you use it. But no, that game. I remember when that game came out. People shit on that game. People didn't like it.
Yeah, and guess what happens? 10 years go by and everybody wants the game.
Yeah, but it was only digital though, man. It was only digital. I wish they'd have put that on the Turtles collection. Dang, that was good.
You know what? And I think it goes back to I don't know what podcast episode we were talking about that on. Was physical game or physical limited run.
Yeah.
Usually every other podcast we talk about that.
Probably. That sounds about right. I mean, I was literally talking about it on what was it? My last episode, my last video where I was talking about Neo Geo games, where they're doing a King of Fighters 98. They're doing another remastered version of that. They're doing another remastered version of King of Fighters 13.
Well, when I go to Japan, you know what I'm getting.
What you getting?
Some games with like
Oh yeah. Your boy needs some of them. Your boy gonna need them. Hook your boy up.
I'm not leaving those behind in Japan this time. That'll be the first 2 games I'm getting.
Bruh, I'm telling you, like if I see a video and you like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna pick this up, and you come back home and I look at this video and you don't have these games,
I'm gonna say, hey man, just send me the money. I'm gonna go ahead and go.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you the money. I'll Venmo it to you straight away. Boom.
Are we talking about Japan and him getting games?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I already told him I want some TurboGrafx 16 Japanese.
I have a list of games that I'm gonna need.
I am gonna PayPal him or Venmo or however he wants it to pick me up some stuff, and I'll even give him a little extra so he can buy himself some games for picking it up. No, seriously, man. Like he's gonna go and pick this up because, like. I think that's a whole podcast episode we could do when you get back. Be like, okay, these are the games that I picked up for these guys. And
guys, you know what? I'm definitely gonna try to do it. I'm definitely this time going to try to do a podcast from Japan.
Are you really?
Damn, really?
I'm gonna try to.
That's gonna be tough because they got all those laws and stuff about like streaming and.
No, they don't. That's
yeah. China's the same way.
Correct. Where he's going to Japan, bro.
I'm going to Japan, not China, you dumb.
I didn't say they definitely did. I said they usually do have some.
They don't have that. They trying. Okay. They just open up a 6 months visa. They're trying to get people.
But you'll be awake and we'll be sleeping.
Oh man,
isn't it like?
We have to figure that out because hold on, because I kept the time. So right now, if we do it right now, let me see. What time is it in Japan right now? All right, in Tokyo it's 1:47 p.m. No, I'll be up. 1:47 p.m. I'll be at 1:47 p.m. Yeah,
solid. That's perfect timing.
Yeah, there you go. You
got it. We good. We Gucci.
So what we're gonna do, Neo? We're gonna make him wake up at like 8 o'clock, so that it's like kind of.
So me and Steve were talking about this the other night that he's trying to go to Japan like once a year at least at a bare minimum. So I told him I plan on going to Japan with him next year.
Are you
that
really?
Is my plan. I'm going to Japan next year.
Wow.
You should come too, Steve.
You know he don't like to travel like
there ain't no way you're gonna get me on. There ain't no way you're gonna get me on a plane for 16 hours or 12 hours or whatever.
You got to. Come on.
CAG says they only have sound laws that's all you have to worry. Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, they do.
That's good. I wasn't being stupid by saying that. I just know that like over there sometimes.
I'm
like,
going to April. I've been in April, May. I'm going to
You're going to Evo, right?
Yeah, I'm going to Evo.
Damn, man.
I'm gonna try to do episode. This time, man. I got to start saying, hey, some money. I at least want to take about $2,000 there. Just to play with.
Well, I know I'll be funding some of that.
I know, right?
We got two Geo games I gotta get from him, so I'll be funding him for his Japan trip at the end of the month.
You pay my hotel for Japan. Pay that over.
You welcome.
You welcome too,
but I think
yeah, for sure. Appreciate you.
I looked at them games like, damn, I should keep this in my collection.
No, come on, bro. You don't need that. You know I need that.
It's such a clear copy too. I'm like, dang.
Nah.
You better get over there and pay him before he changes his mind.
No, he's been patient. This is the most patient I've seen him with games. I'm like, bro, appreciate you.
Nice.
But I think it'll be cool to even do content on that to be able to say like, okay, these are from Japan and play them and stuff.
I don't know where I want to do it. I got to do somewhere, but they're like, can't be all loud and like I am right here. I got to be somewhere. I know I'm being in my hotel room. I got to be some. Maybe I'll be like.
What about one of the game stores there? Do you think they would do that? They'd
no.
No. I didn't know.
No. They real kind of strict about like.
Are they really?
Americans, they just don't. They just kind of, if I'm doing this like this out somewhere, they kind of really like they be looking at you like.
They look at you funny like when you're even in there filming for YouTube.
No, not. Yeah, sometimes they're like.
Is it really?
Filming. Yeah, sometimes they don't want you to film. Sometimes, yeah. Okay, so in wrestling, if you ever watch Japanese pro wrestling, right?
No,
They
not
don't
really.
like American audience. They'll let the wrestlers do their stuff, and then when they have a spot, they be like, they'll clap.
Oh wow, that's weird.
It'd be no sound.
So you were actually walking around a mall like area where like they had like I think it was Pokemon stuff.
Oh, the
that was
Pokemon
up on the
Center,
wall.
yeah.
What if you went to some place like that where you're not like in the way of anybody, but you're not in a store, but you have like that cool background for it? Could you do?
I mean, I
something
probably
like that?
could, but it just depends. It
Yeah.
just depends, because they it's a real respectful thing, but it depends.
That's wild.
No, it's different, but it's nice. It's really nice. I always get nervous, but when I get there, I just feel relaxed. Like right now, I'm talking about, I'm like so nervous. But when I get there, I'll be like, oh.
That's how I usually am when once I get there, I'm cool, and then I get nervous on the way home.
I need to brush up on my Japanese. I got a year to get it right. And
Hey, all you need is your phone.
all you need is your
Hey,
phone.
yeah, I get that, but like I took 2 years of Japanese and I don't use it, so I'm like, ugh.
My wife always laughs because before a big trip, I always sit and watch these.
Yeah, they don't like
big
you eating and
plane
drinking down the
trips
street.
where the plane crashes in the air, or the chicken flies into the engine, and the plane goes down in the Hudson or something like that. That's
No,
my wife's like, "Why are you watching that right before you get on a plane? Like, what are you thinking?"
No, but I think Japan, man, is going to be like super. Like I said, it's going to be my yearly trip. It's almost, I think it's like for me, my reset. Like, because when I went through like the divorce last year, like I went through there, and like it just totally reset and calmed me down. And I was like, man, it's so good. I said, I need to do this every year. Like spend just 2 weeks in Japan every year, and just and when you can say, well, I tell every gamer, I want to go to Japan. I said, all you need is $5,000. I said, shit, most of y'all got more than $5,000 sitting on the goddamn.
Yeah.
That's cheaper than
Yo.
Disney World. That's cheaper than Disney World, man.
Yeah, I
for
could do
sure.
that.
He said use Babel.
Yeah, I was like, I could do that. Like, okay, so here's my thing. I don't want to go to Japan just for games. There's another reason why I need to go to Japan.
What you want?
You're already married. Like that's probably not a good idea.
You not know my wife.
Look, listen. I am just.
She's not
Listen,
that type of
I like you, Elliot. I like you, Elliot. I listen. I like you. I just don't want to see you get down that path. I don't want you to get into trouble. I'm just trying to help you. Just
No, there is no help there. My wife is crazy.
I'm looking out for you. That's all I'm saying.
Right now, listen.
Steve will tell
just
you.
saying.
He met her. He know what she about.
Listen, I'm just saying,
Like
like
a true crazy black woman. She black. She black. She like she black.
You know she be watching this sometimes. She gonna get you.
I know. She agree with me. She black. You know you black. Come on. She
yeah.
black.
You know what she's gonna say? She's gonna say about me. She's gonna be like, I like that one. He's watching out. See that? That's
Yeah.
what she's gonna say. Uh-huh.
Well, so that's not the reason why. Like, I want to go to one of the garages and take a look at R34s, Skylines, the cars, Nissan Skyline R34.
Midlife crisis, huh? You gonna relive? The
No.
Fast and
That
Furious
is my
days,
ultimate
huh?
dream car. I want one of those. So that is like I've had this conversation with Steve. Like,
Many times.
after I get moved into the house, I plan on stacking some bread, saving up, and then I'm going to import a Nissan Skyline R34.
What does it cost to import a car from Japan?
I have no idea. That's a good question. I know it's going to be a lot of money, but I'm going to get it.
It's gonna be a lot of money. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of money.
Like, going around the base, it's going to the base. There's some cars that haven't came over here, and there's some nice cars, bro.
Mhm.
And they cheap too. They're like under $10,000 for some good cars, and they nice. They nice. I was like, yeah, man, I can go ahead and sit this back on the ship with you. And like I said, I'm not at the base. I just came to visit. Oh, well, I'll ship it to you. I got the dude card. I know exactly where to go. And I said, can you give me an R34? He said, you give me about a month, I can. I said,
Wow.
Man, I'm V-Spec. I'm not V-Spec. I mean, or M-Spec 2 or
it's still a thing in Japan.
yeah, drifting is still a thing.
It's
But
still a
I'm
thing.
like midnight purple or just a silver or I'll take the the Bayside blue. I'll take either one of them.
I want one of these old Toyota Crowns.
Huh?
I thought he was gonna say
you did
Supra.
show me that old school kind of like
old Toyota Crown. Yeah,
it's kind of like the what do you call it? The
Let me stick in my
luxury, kind of a luxury Toyota kind of style, kind of like their version of a Benz or a Rolls Royce. I wouldn't say Rolls Royce. That might be a little too far fetched, but
it kind of it is this right here. Let me see. Can I pull this up like large right here? Let me see. But no, oh my gosh, it's outside the Tashimi. They had these outside the Tashimi Nations booth where they do all the Dragon Ball. You know, all them like Dragon Ball toys and Naruto toys. They do it. It was a whole. They were taxis, but they was just sitting out there. So clean. I mean, so clean. I was like,
you have that little present button down. There you go. There you go.
You don't shut the hell up.
You know what this reminds me of? This car right here reminds me of those old 80s martial arts Yakuza movies.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
That's exactly what this car reminds me of. This is the car they always used to drive in the 80s.
Let me ask you guys, isn't this also a car that the presidential people in Japan drive, like when the president rides in?
Sometimes not now.
Not now.
I've seen it in movies though, where they had like,
the old school movies. Yeah, they used to rock.
Oh yeah, I know. Not now. I obviously I know that, but that's essentially what. So it's a high end, right? That's a real high end.
It's a high end Toyota, but it's nice inside though. I just want this I want one of these like low miles, original everything on it, just sitting there. Them things are nice. Now the new Toyota Crowns are out. They are really nice, but
they have new ones.
Yeah, they got new Toyota Crowns out now. Yeah, I'll show you real quick. Hold on, let me see.
You know, so the thing about it, like another thing about importing from Japan is like there's a lot of companies, there's a lot of shops that refurbish, you know, do everything down to like the smallest detail to make sure those cars are done right. Wow,
that's the new Crown.
That's a night and day difference.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh my god,
it's really nice.
I don't know.
It's nice.
I don't like that.
It's a 9-day difference though, but it's different.
I don't like that. No,
I think it's okay. If you get an all black, you see these different.
No,
looks like a Scion. Looks like a Scion.
Yeah. Scion mixed with Tesla mixed with something else. I don't like it.
Yeah, but I like the old school version the better. Yeah, I
don't like that.
All right, we're gonna get people dropping off here if we continue talking about cars. They're gonna be like,
"Hey man, it's Need for Speed, baby! Need for Speed! Twinkle, twinkle, baby! Twinkle, twinkle!
Come on now!
Don't hate, appreciate."
Appreciate.
You know, like I said, go to Japan. So guys, like I say, we're gonna try to do something when I get to Japan. Definitely gonna try to do some video. I'm definitely doing videos there live. I'm probably gonna go live. I don't know, and I got the time, so we're gonna link something up. Definitely gonna try to do a podcast there. Gonna be there 2 weeks. Definitely.
Damn.
And now it might be on a different day. It might be like a Wednesday or a Thursday or something like that. Because if I'm there Friday. That means I had to do it on Saturday because it was a day ahead. So basically,
yeah, you're a day ahead.
Yeah, I'm a day ahead. But I don't really think every gamer who loves video games should really try to go to Japan because, like I said, break it down 5,000, right? All right, so you'll need about $2,000, right? Will be your ticket. Will probably be your ticket. Another 1,000 will probably be your hotel stay for I say 2 weeks. That's $3,000. Then another 1,000 maybe if you want to buy other stuff. So really, you can go to Japan comfortably for $4,000. But if you save and spend it on time, especially you buy tickets way across, because I got my ticket for $1,000. I was like, woo. But I had to go to another Japanese airport. But anywhere you stay in Japan, trains are all around, and it's the best transportation ever. And you can just get lost and you get back. What? We live in.
I was calculating your calculations on what you gonna need, and I was like, brother, do you know what I buy for video games? I'm gonna need another 5 racks for that trip.
That's you. I'm trying to keep myself down for $1,000.
And you also gotta do food, man. We hungry.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Come on, man.
The food's cheap.
That's including the game prices too, because I know some games are cheap over there. Now, if you want to go over there and start buying games where I do want to pick up, the only expensive game I want to pick up is Pepsi Man. That's the only game.
Pepsi Man
on PS1. Pepsi Man. You ever heard of Pepsi Man on PS1? Yeah.
No, I have not heard of that game.
Then when they say drink, bitch. No. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Pepsi Man. Yeah. Pepsi.
Okay.
Man.
All right.
On PS1. Hold on, let me see. Look at all right here.
But the games over there,
Pepsi Man, see? On PS1.
neat.
Interesting.
It's on the PS1 Pepsi Man. And this like
They're-
I can't play the gameplay on here, so but this is how it looks right here. Pepsi Man. Right here.
But they're
What
pretty
the-
cheap. They're pretty cheap over there, right? You get like
This game
games
is
for
about
like,
$150. No,
is it
some-
really in Japan?
like some games are starting to match like
US
Wow.
and eBay
like
prices.
eBay prices. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's starting to like
unfortunately, Neo Geo is in that ballpark now.
Where you find cheap games are like the retro games, like the Super Famicom, the Famicom games.
Oh,
Like even some of the TurboGrafx games are pretty cheap. A lot of games are pretty cheap now, like PS1, Xbox 360 games and Xbox games. There, dirt cheap.
Oh
Dirt
yeah,
cheap.
dirt. They got them in like
Dirt cheap.
discount bins over there.
But you have to
Really?
get but you have to get the some of the Xbox 360 games that are like
Exclusives.
exclusives, but also they run on American systems and stuff. People
Oh,
get
yeah.
those, and it's really those are cheap too.
I'm gonna need some of them too. I got a list, bro. I got like all them exclusives from Xbox. I gotta need them. I'm gonna need I'm gonna need Mark of the Wolves for PlayStation 2.
I'm getting all the Neo Geo games, and I'm probably gonna try to get the set. What is it like a Destiny FOMO? She had got the whole set. I think it was like a Neo Geo or a PS2 something set, but it was exclusive type titles. But we got time, man. We gonna get there.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna need you to get me a copy of Capcom vs SNK 2 on Dreamcast.
Ooh, you know I'm getting that too.
A lot of people don't realize this, but Capcom vs SNK 2, there was a Dreamcast version, but it's only in Japanese. So
So dope too.
only in Japanese. I'm gonna need that list, player. Man, I might be Venmoing you like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000.
Shoot, you better Venmo me a suitcase.
Man, go to Goodwill and get you one.
Hey, they got a good one there. What's so great about Japan too is like the food, man. Like the street, like I ain't saying street food, but like the beef bowls, and then going to the arcades and just walking everywhere. Walking, my dumb ass last time I took them hard shoes up, tough shoes. I ain't had no walking shoes. This time I'm taking my walk. I tried looking all suave and stuff. My feet hurting. I'm like, and I got a prosthetic too. Like, man, this time,
I know you was hurting.
yeah. Steve, what are you laughing for? What are you laughing for?
He goes, yeah, my feet were hurting and I even have a prosthetic leg.
I mean, my foot was hurt, all right.
Oh shoot! Oh, turn the fan on. I'm hot. I'm hot. Oh,
Well, I was sitting there and I'm thinking, I don't think he even realized he said it because he was just like,
no, I knew he said it because I was sitting there like, yo,
oh, man.
whole prosthetic falling apart in Japan, bro.
You can see the smoke coming off the wooden foot.
Hey, I'm taking my backup leg with me.
Oh.
I'm taking my backup leg with me.
He's taking his backup leg.
Oh
I
shoot!
know, I'm taking my backup leg.
Oh,
I talk about
oh, girl, they almost got us.
I do. It's so
Oh,
nice.
man. All right. I got to stop.
I mean, like,
But y'all can't have me laughing like that. I've been drinking.
Oh, man.
I gotta take this, but this one right here, though. I feel
My
like,
man got the black Spider-Man socks on.
yeah, but no,
Oh,
wait,
my
I gotta get a new foot because like my socks be eating like this heel right here. it eats through this like foot shell and stuff.
So when he says he's pounding the pavement, he ain't kidding.
My man is part of the Foot Clan.
Oh my gosh.
My man is part of the Foot Clan.
Oh, there you go.
I gotta make sure I get this. I gotta get some maintenance on my leg before I go. I gotta take it in for an oil change or something.
My man said an oil change, bro. Oh, I love y'all, bro. Y'all so funny. Y'all be having me cracking up.
I forgot. I talked about like it was so normal, right? I did feel like it was so normal.
It was. Listen, it was the way you said it, the way you delivered it. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna laugh. I'm not gonna laugh. And you're like,
yeah, you did. Your face went red, and you just said, "I can't hold it in no longer."
I couldn't do it because he's being dead serious. He's like, yeah,
yeah. He talks about it all. He's like, yeah, man, my feet was killing me, bro. It was killing me out here. I couldn't do it no more.
Yeah, it was. And actually, my foot was killing me. My foot, my knee.
So, you know what? So to that point, though, like you have to walk everywhere for the most part, unless you're taking a train or some form of transportation, right? And I already know. For me, I'm gonna need to get in the gym to go to Japan because
I'm in the gym now, man. Shoot,
my ass will be out there with the shin splints, with the quickness. Because when I was at Disney World a couple of years ago, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm in the gym, man. A little 30,000 steps a day. Oh my god, they kill you."
You know what we did? My wife and my mother-in-law, they had us 3 months before we went to Disney. No joke. They had us start out. We were walking in the park. We would do 1 mile. We started in the beginning. But at the time we got close to Disney, we were walking 12 miles in the park because they wanted the kids to get used to walking a lot.
Whoa.
And that's what we were doing. And that's how we trained, if you will, to be able to handle Disney for that long, but walking everywhere.
Now, you say that. Now, how do you handle the standing in line for 2 to 3 hours?
You just lean against stuff. Honest to God, that's what we were doing there.
That was what hurt. Was that part? Like the constant moving was fine, but then when you stop and then you're waiting in line for that ride for 2 hours, and they like when we went, they didn't have like the expedited, fast lane,
the fast pass. Yep.
The fast pass. They weren't doing that for some crazy reason. Man,
that and wear really comfortable sneakers. Like I went out and bought really good sneakers for me and my wife and the kids. You have to because
you don't have to be comfortable sneakers.
You need a couple, because you need to swap them out every other day.
Yeah,
you got to,
and you got to break them in beforehand.
Dr. Soul, the Dr. Soul's gels that you put in your shoes.
You gelling.
Yeah, right. I'm gelling. Shit.
Totally off the subject here, but I'm gonna throw it out there because people might get a laugh about this. So my daughter's boyfriend just told me about this. They buy these crease protectors for their sneakers now when they wear them, and it's like a plastic. Looks like a plastic toe cap that they stick inside their sneakers and they walk around with them. Like, because he was saying the one time, he's like, man, my foot hurts, like he's walking. He's like, I got to take this crease protector out. And I'm like, a crease protector? I'm like, what the heck? He goes, well, it's so you don't get creases in your sneakers. He's like, people walk around school like they're penguins.
Yeah, my daughter was like, that too.
What?
Yeah, they're like, you can't crease your Jordans because like my wife bought me a pair of sneakers or whatever, and like I'm not a big shoe guy. I just like
I'm not either
regular shoes, whatever. But she's like, no, I got you some sneakers and I got you some Jordans. I'm like, girl, why you give me these Jordans? I don't need Jordans. But then I was walking around and I was like, okay, these are cool. I like these. And then my daughter's friend comes over and she's like, oh my God, they're creased. I'm like, what's creased? Your shoes. I'm like, yeah. And
that's the thing, man.
You can't crease them. You got to walk like this. I'm like, girl, I'm not about to walk around here like a penguin. I'm a grown A man. Or
they get these plastic caps that they stick inside of it and you wear them. It's almost like wearing steel tips. Like,
yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like a steel tip.
It's uncomfortable.
No, pass.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
pass.
They will get talked about.
No, if I can afford the shoe, I'll get another shoe later on down the road.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, my kids think it
may not be a Jordan. It may be like some Shaqs.
But like Steve's a shoe guy, so like I can see you sticking on your shelf like that, right? And you want to put the cap in there to kind of keep it nice. I get that. Not wearing them.
Yeah, for sure.
The most I do is like Okay, so the Jordans I just got. I just got like I saw on post.
Oh, those white and gold ones.
The white and gold ones, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I just got those.
You got those Goodwill Jordans though.
I don't say they're good. The Goodwill, the $500 pair of Jordans I found at Goodwill for $140. Yeah,
And they were your size.
But what's okay? So my shoes, I do have to kind of be careful because like you saw my prosthetic, right? So
Mhm.
whatever shoe I have on there, like when I'm driving, I have to make sure I position my foot so I won't scratch that shoe up. So I have to like so.
Well, what do you mean scratch the shoe? How so?
Okay, so like, cause like when you don't have prosthetic, but my prosthetic it lays down, but it goes to the side like this right here, right?
Right.
So I had to use my knee to turn it this way, right? And
Okay.
push the gas pedal. I had to push the gas pedal from the side like this, cause my prosthetic don't go up and down like a regular foot. It
Right.
goes like this, right?
Oh.
It goes like
That's true.
this.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
So I had
You don't
to
have that
turn-
flex. That's right.
yeah. So I have to like turn my knee this way so I can do it. I can turn and push it that way. So sometimes when it gets too relaxed, especially if I have really good shoes on, it can go over. It can scratch that part of the car.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I
to go in my
got
car.
you.
So I'm gonna have to go in my car and put like something soft in that corner or around
Yeah.
it so it won't scratch my shoes because I mess up shoes and I mess up socks. That's a big thing that people don't really realize.
You know what you should do?
I go through like shoes and socks and stuff like that.
You
But-
should get you some You should get you some Crocs for the car to drive in. Don't put them in turbo mode. Well, you could probably put them in turbo mode.
But see,
That's what kids call it.
That's 4-wheel drive, buddy. 4-wheel drive.
But see, that's the thing. I could do that, but it takes a lot of time taking the shoe on and off.
Yeah, I know. I was just.
No.
But what I can do is I can get the left foot gas pedal where they have a gas pedal that's on the left side, but it's on the left hand side. But when I press it over here, it has a bar that presses the gas pedal down. But they had to drill in the car. I might have to go ahead and get it, but I usually try not to get it. But it didn't devalue the car. But I'm definitely might have to go ahead and get it again. Get that gas pedal because it does help. Like it does help a lot. It does. I haven't had it installed like 5 years, so I can like take it out and when somebody drive, I can put it behind the seat. But I usually put it in there because sometimes if I drive long distance, sometimes my knee will get tired and stuff. So I take my prosthetic, let it sit, and I just use that, and I can use because usually I drive with 2 feet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
and if you're
sitting, a lot of things people don't really realize about that stuff. Like I have to think about shoes, socks, and stuff. I'd have no matching socks hardly because it just goes right through it. So.
And if you're sitting in the chat room saying, "Remind me never to drive with him," I drove with him in Pittsburgh. It was like driving with anybody else, and I'm still here today to talk about it.
No, I ain't driving like anybody else because this man drives like
him.
out of hell.
Well,
when he was in the Tesla, he had me in the floorboard driving crazy when we going looking for these games. He's like, bro, I'm gonna take you to this spot. This spot's really good. They got all the video games. It's like, cool. And then he takes off like we in NASCAR race. I'm like, bro, we are not in need for speed.
Listen,
right
that's
now.
how they drive in Pittsburgh. That's how they drive in Pittsburgh. He fit
Bro,
right
we
in.
are in Texas, sir.
They drive like that in Texas. Hey,
They do drive like that in Texas, though.
I sold a
They
Tesla.
do.
Everybody don't know. I sold a Tesla. I got a real car, but I got a sold a Tesla.
He finally came back to the gas land, folks. He finally realized that electric is just not there.
Let me ask y'all this question. Have y'all so speaking of cars, since we've talked about cars so much.
Yeah, you guys talked about cars so much.
I'm sorry. Apologies, sir. Let me ask you this question. So what are your thoughts on the whole racing rig setup? Like the car, I
want one so bad. I want a racing rig.
So my wife bought me one. What was it? A year and a half ago. She bought me like the foldable GT style chair with the wheel, the shift, the pedals, everything. And then, because at the time we couldn't find one that actually had the bucket seat that just sits there stationary, and then you can just plug in like a widescreen wraparound and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of started thinking about that for when I moved to the new house. I'm like, man, should I do it? I don't know if I'm going to play it enough though.
The only reason I don't have one is because I don't have the room.
and that's kind of where I'm at, because I'm about to have a candy cab in the crib. I'm probably gonna get rid of like 2 of my arcade 1-ups.
Steve, pull this up. This is I want this, and it's gonna be in our group chat that we have. It's gonna be in our text message chat. Pull that up.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
I want that.
Keep talking.
And he'll want this. He'll want it too. He'll be like, and you can get it on Amazon. Oh, yeah, you got that out of Steve. Oh, there you go, Ness. That's what you need right there. Pull that up on the screen here so folks can see that. Look at that boy.
Woo!
Now,
Man.
right?
Okay, yeah. So you know what?
That.
There is an actual store here in Texas that has something similar to this.
Hey, the furniture store.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah. I want this too.
But does it recline and have like the shakes and stuff like a
Yes.
real like?
Yeah,
oh, dude.
it's actually this exact same one, but a different company.
Yeah, I don't care what company
I
this
can't
thing is.
justify
Like.
this though. I can't justify this though. I just really can't.
Listen, go big or go home. Go big or go home.
Look at this, man. Look, do you get free shipping?
Dude, you could even do, what do they have payments there right there for $291 a month if you really wanted to do that for 12 months.
It's nice. I like it. But look, they got the little cheaper ones too right here for $260. Look at this pink one. Okay, look, 34.
Dude, I'm telling you, like this thing's pretty sick.
Wow, 34 grand.
34 freaking
Oh
dollars.
man, what? Like, wait, pull that.
Car.
Click on some of the pictures. Why is that 34 grand? Like, what are they adding to it?
Lumbar office PC chair. Like, nah, bro, that ain't enough for 34 grand. They need to do some extra stuff.
that better play the game for me.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's see about this item. If you, okay, or not. Let's see.
Sorry.
If you like our products, please rest assured to buy blah blah blah. Still frame. The gaming chair is suitable for you to play computer games, to watch TV, to do work, to have rest. It will make your space more modern and elegant. That's it? That's all you have to say about this?
It looks like it's got hydraulics on the back, though.
210,000 grams? Bruh, what? What?
Yeah, like NJS.
Leather, and it's not even real leather.
NJS says it cost them $300 to make. I agree with that. That's why I said the other one was more practical. That other one looked really good at $3,400.
The margins on this thing is absurd. Like, hell, I'm sure the paint costs more than the whole damn thing to put together.
Yeah. If I had the room, man, I'm with you. Like the racing rig, I got the steering wheel for the Switch, play Mario Kart, and I also have the PS4 steering wheel, whatever the Elite was. I got it at Pawn Shop. I want a racing seat like that, just like you said. I just don't have the room in the store. It would have to fold up so I could slide it under a couch or in a corner or something.
You know, speaking of racing seats and racing stuff, ever since Gran Turismo release, right, in the movie theaters,
The movie,
that game I have not found that game, and that game has starting to go up in price now.
Which
No
one?
way.
The PS4 or the PS3
For
version?
both.
Because I have them both.
For both.
Mine's sealed. I never opened it because I hated the game.
I probably could go find it at the furniture store, but I went to GameStop. I said, "Can y'all see?" It's sold out everywhere in GameStop. They said ever since the movie came out, they can't keep it in.
Wow.
Look it up.
I believe you. I'm looking to see if I have it.
You probably can order it from the warehouse of GameStop. You can do that, but it's difficult to find.
I know I had it for something.
No, they're pretty inexpensive.
What? Gran Turismo 7?
Oh, you're talking about 7? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm all the way back at 5. Let me continue.
Oh no. It's still like,
So the 25th anniversary is $72 on average.
okay.
The last one sold at $90.
I mean, I have to get that one, and that's online, always online though.
Yeah,
I couldn't
a
find
lot of them are now.
It's it is online. I mean, I'm sorry. In the store, it's difficult to find that game. I'm like, I wanted to just go in and buy it. That's one of them games I just haven't bought yet. You know,
I forget what system I got it where I had to buy it with it. You know, you were talking about earlier
because I want the VR mode.
Yeah, the Series X. The Series X gave you a bundle That was the only way in the beginning I could buy it. It had like 3 or 4. I thought I had Gran Turismo with that. I thought.
It's I can buy it at Walmart for $41. I'm like,
You didn't see it at GameStop, both of you, when you guys were there? I mean, you are sponsored. I figured they had it behind the counter. I just said that,
jackass.
I'm just saying. Ness didn't hear you. I had to make sure you.
Okay, one thing about Ness, he cannot walk into.
I was chatting in the chat.
He can't walk.
I got zero emotion out of him.
He cannot walk and chew bubblegum at the same time.
Look, when I be focused, I be focused. I be paying attention though. Y'all talking shit right now. I don't like it.
Look, I be talking to him. He be like, "I said, Ness, what you doing?" Huh?
Wait, you do the same thing though. You do the same thing when I'm on the phone with you. I always know when you go back to editing because you're like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know. Mm-hmm.
I'm a dude disguised as a dude that looks like another dude.
and then I'm like, all right, I'll talk to you later. I said, I know you're busy, and you're like, and then all of a sudden he goes, all right, I'm gonna let you go, and I'm like, yeah, I just said that like 5 minutes ago.
Dad's over here like, I need your 360 list, Ness.
Yeah, he just sent me a list of a 360.
Oh, maybe he's got a bunch of them he's getting rid of, huh? Or is he?
You know what? Let me put that together. I need to put that together.
Hey, Reels, was that the list you sent me? That the list that the games that are hard to find or games that you have to sell? What was the list about again? But he sent me.
See, I told you he don't pay attention. He's not.
No, he was talking about.
No, he's sending to him.
No, he sent me.
I'm messing. I'm messing.
Oh, he's saying I'm collecting.
Oh, he's collecting. Okay.
Oh, okay. No, most of these games I do have though. Like games on here, you talking about like Magna Carta 2. I definitely need to pick that up. Like Budokai.
Oh yeah, you got to get that, bro.
Lollipop.
Oh yeah.
Saw 1 and 2. Yeah, Never Dead. Like Never Dead was
I never did get Saw 1 and 2.
Never Dead is funny.
I never did either. I got sick of the movie though.
The Transformers games are ones that are going up now too on Xbox 360. Especially the last two. I think what was it her? Yeah,
Cybertron.
Yeah, War Cybertron.
I found that one at a pawn shop in Oklahoma.
And
it was cheap.
Hey, what's up, James? Hates everything. What's going on, man?
I was gonna say, hey, I like his little avatar. He's like,
oh, he's awesome. He's awesome.
I like him. Yeah.
So let me ask y'all this question. Let me go down this, since we've gone through the effect of what Apple does for the video game industry. Let's move past that now. What is a game? And this for everybody in the chat too. What is a game that you would love to see remastered today? Could be on PlayStation 5, could be on
remastered today,
or a remake. Remaster or remake. Any game that hasn't been done already 1,000 times.
Retro Rob got asked this last night.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah, it was kind of funny when he said that. But I want to add to Ness before you answer, Steve. Yeah, just like a movie gets ruined when they add sequels sometimes.
Yes.
Do we really want them to remake something for today?
Okay, so let me add a little caveat here. If it could be done really well, a good developer,
the right way.
I wasn't gonna say that, but okay, yeah.
I got you. Let's go right here. Right there. I got you.
No. Okay, so if it can be done well, if it's a story based and it has a really good, common, just like voice acting, all that. If it's one of those games, great, and it just need to be polished up for today's consoles, and you didn't want to change anything, maybe it's just a remaster. Or if it's a remake and it says, hey, this game needs a little bit more polish on it, it could have been a 10 and it just didn't hit that mark and it ended up being a 7, but I still love the game. What is that game for you?
I was saying Mario Brothers 3.
Really, out of all the games you've ever played, you say Mario Brothers 3. Even though we've gotten Mario RPG and all these other ones that are really good, you say Mario Brothers 3.
I want to see Super Mario Brothers 3 like a 30-year anniversary edition or something like that. Like I want to see like a real true remake, like, and then you can like hit the button and then go back to the original graphics. I want everything. I want like that, and then I want also to add the levels where on the remember how they had those cards, the e-reader cards. I want those levels on the game too in Mario 3. I want that.
See, he goes there. I'm gonna say Turtles the arcade game. If they made it to where they looked with modern graphics, Turtles like they do in Fortnite, even okay, the Turtles look like that, and in the Turtles the arcade game, modernized, I think that would be something I would buy in a heartbeat. Even though I beat that game to death, I have it here on the Arcade 1-Ups.
Pause.
Well, I have it for Nintendo as well. So but my point is, that game that has a lot of nostalgia, I would love to see. I think they couldn't butcher it. I think that's Mario. I'd be afraid that they'd butcher it.
Okay, so let me add one other,
because look at Super Mario Wonder. They're not going to butcher a high game like you said earlier.
I would hope they wouldn't butcher it, but
because or Super Mario World.
Okay, let me add this twist to it. Okay, so you've given me your game that you said, hey, this is the game that I want remade, remastered. If it could be done, great. But what's one aspect of the game that if you could personally add to that game in terms of what you want in the game, what would it be? What aspect of the game? If it's part of the story, if it's a weapon, if it's armor, if it's just anything, what could you add to that game that you say this makes it perfect?
Cutscenes. Like, think about if Mario 3 or Mario World was done like
they had the
Odyssey,
Super Mario,
like a Super Mario Odyssey graphics, or like in a Super Mario Odyssey graphics, right?
and have movie like cutscenes like from the movie of Mario Brothers,
or something like that. Or get this, a really dedicated, true Super Mario Brothers collection remastered, like Mario 1, 2, 3, all the mainline Mario games like they did, but then they go back and they add like interviews and like commercials, the cartoons, stuff like that.
Good question in the chat room. He said remaster or remake.
I said both. It could be either or.
Okay,
so for definition purposes for everyone in the chat, remaster, we're just talking about the game is great as it is, but we want to update and refresh what it looks like today, maybe tweak a few things in terms of the gameplay, but other than that, it stays the same. If it had voice acting, the voice acting that was in there was great. Yeah, we refresh that and make it look and sound great, and we're good to go. But on top of that, if you could add one awesome feature to take it over the top, what would that be?
I think even with Turtles the arcade game, I think having more people to choose from, more player, maybe even the 6-player mode, since it's console based, you could add more, and then more characters where you're Splinter or you're one of the other guys, right? And have that, but also downloadable levels, as you get more and more levels. I think that, because it is all around great game, just like Mario, like it's all around great game.
And you know what? We kind of got that with Mario Maker, because I used to shit out. When I saw the idea of Super Mario Maker, I shit all over it. But then when it came out, I was like, oh, wait a minute, you get unlimited Mario levels from people around the world. That game is still a freaking classic. Even the first one is just so good. But if it came with the Mario games, those I would want a remake. I like a good remaster like they did Super Mario RPG, but then like switched it back to graphics and music and stuff like that. You had to have that switchback feature that a lot of people are doing now with like Tomb Raider and stuff. You got to have that switchback. Get the original graphics to the new graphics. Like that new Rugrats game coming out about Limited Run. You can do like making modern graphics and stuff.
Look what they did to Sonic when Sonic was like kind of for the Sega Genesis and even Mega Drive, and now look at how Sonic is today. Well, even from the Dreamcast, when we all saw it on the Dreamcast, we're like, oh my word, this is like Sonic like we've never seen it before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing a lot of awesome games in the chat here.
Well, what would you pick? You didn't tell us what you would pick.
You guys already know what I would pick.
Halo?
No,
he's not gonna do Halo.
No.
What would you pick?
I like Halo as is. Well, I like the original Halos. So from Halo 1 to Reach, those were well done.
Right.
After that is like when it fell apart.
ODST?
I loved ODST. ODST was good. And speaking of which, an ODST style game would actually be Helldivers 2 right now. Like no cap. Like it's semi kind of. I mean, you know what? I would say Helldivers 2 is like ODST meets Starship Troopers. That's what I call it.
Okay.
That's kind of what it is.
What was the story of ODST?
It takes the storyline is just kind of takes place in between 3 and Reach, if I'm not mistaken. It's been many years since I played it, but you're not playing as a Spartan.
Was Reach like a board game type of thing?
No. Reach was actually a prequel, kind of. So you're playing a different Spartan on another fire team, basically. And the Reach actually falls. So you're the Spartan team that's trying to stop the Covenant from coming in and destroying it. And like at the very, very last part of the game, like you're trying to battle it out against everybody and you're trying to survive. Like I've seen people go on for like 30, 40 minutes in the game trying to survive, but you ultimately die. Your Spartan ultimately dies, and then that leaves it for Master Chief to take over and say he's the guy. Okay. He's the guy that's going to take over. But it's a good game. I see folks in the in the chat. Are you starting the collection again? So no, for everybody in the chat, I am moving. So I am selling my home. And right now they told me, my realtor's like, hey, you got to take your entire game room and you got to take this out of the house. We got to sell your house. I left my shelves because I just didn't feel like moving them. So I have that. And now I have, from all the games I've been buying lately, against my better judgment, I decided, you know what? Why don't I just start filling my shelves up again? And then when people want to come look at my house to view it, I'll take all the games off the shelf. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm making it a little bit of a challenge for myself. Like, how many games can I add before I sell the house?
What happened is he left for the weekend and his wife sold all his games. So now he has to start all over again. That's really what happened. But
I don't have to worry about that. My wife has already told me she would never sell my games.
She wouldn't do that.
She would never do that. She's very supportive of my video game hobby. So my game is KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars. Oh. Even though that there was an announced remake that Sony had and has,
You sound bitter. You sound bitter.
I am very bitter, sir. And I think many people that have known me on this podcast long enough to know that I have talked about this game many times.
Every week?
Phenomenal.
Every week?
No, not every week. KOTOR is a really good game. Well, the first one. First two was unfinished. But the first one was well done. I think for me, if I could add anything to that game, the character that you have, your character who ends up being Revan, needs to have a voice actor. That's one. The whole script, and like it's kind of like Baldur's Gate. You have a character that you create and they're not even talking. I hate that. We're way past that. If you got everybody else talking, pick a character that you have. It's kind of like Mass Effect. You know, Shepard has a voice actor. Everybody should have a voice actor at this point in every game that they're building. Like, let's not half-ass it anymore. Give us a voice actor. It just makes it more in depth. And I get it from their perspective. They may say, like, maybe you want to hear your voice, you know, from the character that you created. No, I don't want to hear all that. I don't care. I don't want to hear my voice. That's kind of how I feel. A remastered version of KOTOR would be amazing. And then from there, if they can continue the story, and I know the MMO was really good, but a lot of people didn't play the MMO. So let's do a KOTOR 3 after we get past the first two. That's what I would love.
Well, now that you laid it out for them, so if we see it in the next year, they know that they got the good idea.
Well, you know what? That's why I bought my PlayStation 5 was specifically for that game. So they need to do something.
Well, we're at the end of its lifespan, and so you're SOL.
So what you're telling me is we may get it during the PlayStation Pro 5.
Sure, we'll go with that.
So when
Okay.
let's go back to the PlayStation 4 Pro. When that's a remaster. All right. So if it does come out this year,
Do we need a Pro?
I don't
need
need
a
it, but I
Pro.
think it'd be nice.
Well, tell me before you get into it. Tell me what you're putting in this Pro. What's going to make you buy this?
Yes, that's the question I have as well.
Just the PlayStation brand. Honestly.
No. I mean, don't just. And I'm not meaning you, but Sony. Don't just put upgraded RAM in it. Don't just give us extra storage and call it a Pro. What
You
makes
should
it
have
Pro?
put extra storage in it to begin with.
Well, I'm just saying. What are you adding? You're Sony. What are you adding to make this Pro? Don't call it a Pro then.
No, it's going to be a Pro. I mean, it was a big difference, and you can see the difference from PlayStation 4 to the Pro. If you try to run games on like a PlayStation 4 original,
okay,
on a Pro, you saw a big difference. It's going to have to be a bigger jump. So what is that?
That's what I'm saying.
You don't see a difference between the Pro and the 5, though. You really don't.
Point.
You're gonna have to see you don't see that big of a jump. You don't.
No, you don't see that.
You probably will see a bigger jump from the PlayStation 4 Pro to the PlayStation 4 Pro.
Well, of course, yeah.
You're gonna see that, but it's that Apple effect again. It's that darn Apple effect, and then you will still have people say, "I'm gonna wait till the PlayStation 6 come out." Then the PlayStation 6, I'm gonna wait till the PlayStation 7 come out. Like. And I get that. I'm not knocking nobody to do that. I get that, but I'm saying like it's like the cell phone game. It's like going back to it.
Well, what do they need to do for you to buy it? What do they need to do for you to buy it?
For me, simple. It's just a place. I'm gonna buy regardless because of YouTube. I'm a PlayStation fan. Excuse me. I'm a video game.
Okay, but you're not a YouTuber. You're a consumer and you're a PlayStation fan.
Yes.
What's gonna make you say yes? I'm gonna shell out $600 for this thing
for another console after I've purchased a PS5 originally.
For me, I just do it because it just calls because a brand recognition.
Not you, the consumer.
Consumer. It has to show a big difference of the games I'm playing. It has to have some kind of feature. It has to also look. It has to be like look better. It has to run better. That's hard. That's a hard conversation, right? That's a different conversation because like
that's my point.
That's
the point.
Like what selling point? What makes me going to go get the new iPhone? I mean, really, between the 14 and the 15 is really not much difference. Between
you're right.
And the 15 is not much difference. But between the 10, the iPhone X, and this is not.
And we finally got to the source of the title of this entire podcast for tonight: the Apple effect. Why are we paying for minuscule details in cell phones, dropping $1,500 year after year after year for features that don't really matter and we're not going to utilize, versus a console in the same exact space that like, oh, we're going to add extra storage. Well, shit, you should have had the storage in there in the first place, because guess what? Everybody has to go out and buy 3 extra terabytes and mod their consoles within the first 30 days of having the console if they're an actual gamer.
And you really don't have to buy. I can't honestly push. We're gonna buy regardless. But when I do buy it,
No,
I
am not buying a Pro.
I cannot push my audience to say go get this outside of, because it's
well, let me put it to you this way: like for the controller, right, that they brought out, that was $200. Their Pro controller, right?
Yeah,
it has removable analog thumbsticks. That's one of the reasons that make it Pro, that you can pull them out if you get stick drift.
Yeah.
Okay. You can program the buttons for, like, if you're like a hardcore tournament player. Okay. Those are 2 huge features for a pro who is in competitive gaming to buy that controller for an extra $100 for Pro. I can't name one thing, and I don't know, chat room, let us know if I'm missing something here. I can't think of one feature that they could add to the PlayStation 5 to justify calling it Pro and paying extra $100, $150. If it looks different, they can make it look like the freaking PS2 here and call it a Pro. And this small, I ain't buying it.
No, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't, because we've kind of hit this threshold too that we're in a different generation of console, or just a different generation of of gaming now, where we're getting games that aren't done, versus when we're looking back at PS3, PS2, and the early portions of PS4, we got complete games. Yep. Now we're in a stage where, we got to patch this game for the next 3 weeks because we released it and it wasn't done. Oh, well, we need to add these additional features, but we're going to have these updates over the next couple of months because the game wasn't done. And because this game wasn't done, we couldn't release it at the best of its abilities in terms of visual perspective. So we had it downgraded to 60 frames per second instead of 120 frames per second, or 30 frames per second instead of 60 frames per second. That is the issue. And when you talk about releasing a console that says, oh, it can do this, it can do 8K, oh, it can do these features, it can do, but the games aren't doing that. That is the overall issue behind the entire situation. If I'm a cell phone buyer and I'm buying a phone because it's the new hotness, what's the new hotness doing for me? Because all I'm doing is texting and making a phone call, or getting on the internet, or looking at my YouTube,
or filming, like using
filming.
Because your app, and if your apps don't work any different, they don't look any different.
Don't work any different. So tell me, whoever's building these consoles, what is it doing? Because guess what? When we stop talking about PS5 and Microsoft and Nintendo, who else is talking? PC. Everybody over here on PC is like, well, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And I've got plenty of space. I've got plenty of storage, which is why we see more gamers who were console based starting to shift over to PC now. Yeah. We see more of that. That's becoming a more... That's fact. That's not just a statement. There's more gamers shifting to PC because it's the more logical way to do things.
To be
I
fair,
can upgrade RAM here and there.
And Steam Deck put a whole bunch of new people on PC, including me. I was never a PC gamer, but when I got the Steam Deck, I'm like, God damn.
But to prove a point here too, not just in the. I don't want it to sound like we're just beating up on game consoles. I work in the camera business for broadcasting, right? And we've been kicking around the idea for different products and stuff. And we were talking about that. The second you slap Pro on anything, you have to give the consumer a reason to say, okay, I'm buying this because I'm a pro. I make money doing this. This is my job for a living, so I'm a pro. Okay, but what separates it from the consumer version of your product? to the Pro version of your product to justify the uptick in price. And that's all I'm saying with this. I'm not saying Steve's wrong. I'm saying
it's not
because I think
between okay, like
no,
look, like
the gentleman in the chat room, he was saying about they'll slap Spider-Man's logo on it and it'll call it a Pro, and people will buy it. He ain't wrong.
What's the
People
difference?
will buy it.
Ain't wrong. He ain't lying.
What's the difference? Listen, what's the difference? What's the difference?
Well, the PS4 one, when you stick it in, it's going to automatically connect to the internet, and it's going to say, "Where's the PS5 free download?" There's no other difference than that.
And this battery probably died on him.
No, I'm good. I was sorry. I was
The PS5 version. It'll just install quicker. The PS4 version will have to download PS5 version from the internet. You get a free upgrade.
Steve, that's something right there.
Yeah.
People who don't want to wait that extra 40, 50 seconds or something like to jump into a game, or little minor. Okay, it has to be a significant jump for the consumer to buy this, because that report that came out, less people are buying PS5s and all that kind of stuff. When you couldn't get one, during COVID, all scalpers had them up stacked to the walls and stuff. To the windows, to the walls, to the PlayStation wall. Ski.
this dude.
Ski got that joke.
Oh shoot! Oh my god!
I mean,
and folks, he hasn't even been drinking.
I have.
It's just me, y'all. I'm sorry.
I've been drinking. Look, I had some of this in this.
No, you ain't been drinking. I've been drinking. I've been drinking all night long.
He's been hitting the moonshine over here.
Me? No, I just have a moonshine glass.
But no, like I said,
it's
man,
bourbon.
We got to it's a ceiling. It's a ceiling on these video games.
Yeah.
Xbox hit that ceiling, and they're not saying they hit it, but they know they had hit that ceiling. That's why they went to Game Pass. They hit ceiling on the box. What is this next computer box? Can they do? That's why Nintendo's like, why we need to bring something
like Steve. Look at Cyberpunk.
Cyberskull, yeah.
Cyberpunk.
No, it's Cyberpunk now.
Yeah,
now it's Cyberpunk.
When it came out.
But when it came out,
it was Cyberskull.
It came out for a system that it couldn't be played on. So what's the buying? You want to play that game? You got to upgrade the console.
Yeah, you couldn't play on the PS4.
Yeah, that's debatable, but that's debatable.
No, on a Pro,
yeah.
On a PS4.
Oh, on a Pro. On a Pro.
On a PS4.
But it came out for PS. They advertised it for PS4. So my point is, in order to play that, you got to go to a Pro, or in our case, PS5 at the time, right?
Yeah.
What? Like to Ness's point, what can Xbox or Sony do to justify bringing out a Pro? There's nothing.
There's nothing.
Not
can
one
justify,
thing.
Really, there's nothing. And I love PlayStation. I can't defend them on that. Nothing. And really can't. And people have the right to be mad, but they know when they bring it out, they're going to sell out. Look at the PlayStation Portal. How I ain't say it's a horrible machine because I like it, but people are talking so much crap about it, and it's still to this day kind of sold out. When it pops up, it sells out because PlayStation has that brand recognition that like I can trust it. I love it. It's been here for years. I'm going to buy it, just like Nintendo. Xbox is kind of really ruined that a little bit, and they're trying to get that back because they've been taking L's all last year, and they still kind of taking them. It's just they don't have that. PlayStation will sell regardless because of PlayStation. But
let me hop in here. So Microsoft is playing a completely different game from everybody else. Completely different game.
You think this game is going to work in the end? Because they playing the long game.
Yes, it is going to work in the end. I'll tell you why it's going to work in the end. Like right now, we're looking at it just solely based off of the video games, right? Mm-hmm. We need to start looking at it from the form factor, right? The folks that are in the chat, the folks that are hardcore gamers, we've grown up in an industry where it's just been console based. We are now shifting into a completely different avenue of technology. You hear all these companies talking about AI and all this shit. That's a real thing. Okay, those are things that are already being integrated into our consoles, whether that's very small pieces here and there, small features. But as we progress over the next course of the couple of years, that is going to continue to grow, and that is going to exponentially increase to a point to where we're going to be like, oh shoot, this is not the gaming style of the visual that I have been accustomed to. And we're going to have to adapt to that. That's the unfortunate thing for us gamers out there that have been used to the status quo. That's going to change. Microsoft, whether you love them or you hate them, they are going against the grain. And generally, when you have companies that have a larger pool or foundation of data technology that go against the grain, they generally are the innovators in the industry. Now, right now, we look at it from a games perspective. They're putting out trash games. Yeah, that's true. I ain't gonna lie.
Yes and no, only because Windows is one of the most powerful operating systems and popular operating system. But look what Apple did. Apple came in and buried Windows Mobile.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And now iOS is the dominant next to Android, the dominant. So I can't say that they will overtake Sony or anything.
I'm not saying that they're overtaking them. I'm saying that they're going to change the industry. And the problem that where Sony is going to lie is Sony is still stuck in the same business model that they've been in. Let me pump out a new system and let me put out a Pro. 7 years. Yep. Let me do a new system. Let me pump out a Pro. Let me put out a custom edition. That's the same thing they've been doing since PlayStation 1, 2, 3. It's the same thing.
The Pro into the PlayStation 4 generation.
Well, besides the Pro, but the business model hasn't changed.
No, it hasn't.
The innovation hasn't changed. It hasn't grown. Microsoft is doing something different because the technology that we have now is doing something different. And because of that, we don't see it right now because we're looking at it from hindsight view. Okay, well, they ain't putting out these games, which is true. And I'm not here to bash Sony. I'm not here to hype up Xbox. I'm just looking at it from a completely different lens and saying, hey, look, you think Xbox is on this path of no console, which probably, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Yeah. Consoles will go away, but who's going to be the business that's going to be on the top? The one who has the data, the analytics, the one who has everything already laid out, the framework.
Microsoft has that.
Microsoft has it.
They have it.
So when we get rid of consoles and Sony's over here scrambling, trying to figure out how do we have the virtual style or the software-based PlayStation, and we haven't been doing this for the last 10 years, that's where the issue is.
This is the bottleneck. That's Real says in the chat room, streaming games from the cloud is what they have been focused on.
Yep.
Let me see you stream Far Cry on Xbox Series S and then play the physical copy side by side, and you tell me that streaming is where it's at.
But you know what? Sony is trying that too.
Quality.
You are true. You are right about that. But to that point, how long until this becomes this?
It's well, right now everybody don't have gigabyte internet.
That's it right there. He just hit it. That's exactly what I was going to say.
And that's it. But you know what? Yeah. Another 3 years, that's not even going to be a conversation anymore. No, maybe your average person is going to have at least a gig.
Yes,
maybe. Because here's the thing: you got a household full of people that are consuming everything. All their devices are internet devices, right? Mm-hmm. Steve will get away with it. I got a house. My kid right now, because I'm sponsored, I can actually say that I'm sponsored. I have another internet provider that uses cell signals that I use when I go to conventions. Steve knows when we did in Pittsburgh.
You do.
My kid is on his own internet because they sponsor it. playing games. If I have him while I'm streaming, gaming at the same time, and I've got 1,000 down and 50 up, I start running into problems. My wife can't stream Netflix. My daughter can't play on her PS5.
They start throttling.
It starts throttling. The quality level starts coming down.
I don't have that issue in my house because, like, my wife's on something, my daughter's on something, and well, you know what? This was the workaround for me. Right? This was the workaround for me. Was I just plugged in directly into my router and made my own upstairs. So no one's tapped into anything that I have going on upstairs when it comes to my gaming.
So how many people know how to do this, Ness? Like a lot.
I had to do it for work. So originally, like, I was like, the issue was
person don't know how to do that. I mean, I'm saying like the average person don't know how to do that. And let me go back to like the streaming thing.
Yeah.
PlayStation is actually they're slick with it. They're doing it, but they're testing it with the PlayStation 3 on the PlayStation 5 and 4 and 5 on the essentials. When you buy all the older games, the only way you can play PlayStation 3 games is you have to stream them from the cloud. So they're taking all that data and they're going to use that one day, but they're making you pay for it, just like Xbox. But you're paying a premium on the on the PlayStation side. Xbox, you're not really doing it because they're doing cloud beta. So both companies are doing it. They just doing it a little bit different. Nintendo is doing it. What is Nintendo doing? Online service, the online Game Pass, all what they have, with Mario Kart and the online video games, the online Game Boy games and all that kind of stuff. Everybody's doing it. So if you really look at it, that's where it's going. They're trying to push that. Google did it. But Google failed with a Stadia.
They were just too early to the game.
Too early to the game, yeah, like they always too early. But don't get me wrong, they got some money in this. Apple, let's go back to Apple. Apple is buying all of these AI companies. They're buying AI companies.
All these technology companies. I mean, hell, Nvidia's stock price went up $100 the other day, and that's all because they said AI is its own industry.
It is.
It is very true. It is. It is its own business model. AI will be its own business model. There will be AI-based companies, and that's all they focus on is AI.
What do you think this is? They sneakily added AI over the years. What do you think Siri is? What do you think how your photos are doing? AI is all in this right here. But they slowly giving it to you. Like I said, technology like that doesn't happen overnight. It happens over years.
Terminator.
Like Microsoft, they're playing the long game. They wanted to do it. You're so fucking idiots. Can't be serious, bro. I'm trying to be serious.
Well, I didn't say anything.
I know when I said I started laughing and Steve started laughing. Pause.
I'm sorry.
But here's what I want to Steve's point. Here's what I want everybody to think about. Okay,
y'all assholes.
You're talking about okay, not everybody has the internet, but as we get smarter, my house is considered a smart house. I have a ton of stuff that's smart house related, and I'm going more and more. I have 97 devices on my network, and I have done what Ness has done, and I've separated my network and allocated bandwidth to certain areas. But like to Steve's point, not everybody can do that. No. I have a mesh network in my house. I have 5 access points in my house.
God damn.
Yeah, and everything's isolated from my broadcast stuff. My son has his own internet. It's his own network. It's isolated. My stuff is isolated.
Goes down, your whole house is going to be just dark.
No. So I know. You have
a generator?
No, I don't have a generator. That's to do. But I have a switch here that has certain things attached, not a Nintendo Switch, an actual network switch. For my broadcast stuff over there, I have a network switch. I have everything isolated. My point is, they keep pushing us to being more internet connected with everything in the house.
They're pushing you. They're pushing you to get out of here now.
Yes.
You have to
do it. I cannot do it.
I'm sorry. Continue.
No. But that's my point. You got to think outside of just surfing the web for internet. Like I got plenty of bandwidth.
I'm like we're way past that. We're way past the dial-up stage and AOL and all. We're way past that.
Steve's not.
Hey, when AT&T went down yesterday, I showed like, damn, I wish I had me a landline.
It was just cell service. Like I didn't have any issues at all.
No, it was cell service, but you know,
and it wasn't just AT&T. Everybody was talking about AT&T. It was everybody. It was T-Mobile. It was Verizon.
I had no issues yesterday. I was
fine.
Thank
God for Wi-Fi calling because I woke up and like, damn, did I pay my bill? I was like, no, I paid my bill. And I looked on SOS. I said, I paid my bill. Now I look like I had Wi-Fi.
He said, I paid my bill.
I did. I was like, oh shit, I know I didn't pay my bill.
He's like, what's wrong with my service? I paid my bill.
I got scared for a moment. I'm like, I know I just paid my bill. What the hell?
Somebody called Sarah Connor.
Oh man, oh man, can I get rid of content? I didn't know I paid my damn bill. Like you motherfuckers better get my. Oh man, I was like, didn't pay my damn bill. But oh yeah, Nestor does great impressions.
Appreciate you.
He does real expressions. Get to the AI chat. Say Steve.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. But we really need to get to a point where if you're streaming games or you're going to download it, because here's the problem. Christmas Day, you have millions and millions of kids out there who are getting these consoles that are going to be all digital.
Oh.
They're going to be downloading these games that are going to, some of them are going to take like an hour on a good day. Now they have to download them on a day.
So here's another thing you have to add on top of that. Not just the kids that are downloading and uploading, patching and all that stuff, but the servers that they have to play on as well from the company standpoint. You also have to think of that. If anybody remembers anything about Anthem when the beta dropped in the servers, they had to downgrade the servers from Battlefront just to get Anthem to work for the
bring up the PS4 launch. The PS4 launch, I left my console for 8 hours to download the system update before I could play on launch night at midnight.
You know, and I don't know why I brought Anthem up because that hurt my feelings so much. I wanted to play that game so bad. I wanted a new game. I needed a new Destiny style game. Everyone that's come out with the Destiny style, this is a Destiny killer, has not been able to do it. Was it Outlaws? No. Outsiders. Was that what the name was?
Outwatch.
What?
Overwatch.
No. Someone in the chat, please help your boy out. Is it? No, not Overwatch.
Overwatch is a battle royale.
No, it was a shooter. It was like a 3-person fire team shooter. It was a looter shooter. Outsiders. I think it was Outsiders.
I don't know.
He said, look at Helldivers 2 servers. They've been hurting.
I bet because they weren't expecting that demand. Thank you, Outriders. Thank you, Jalen. Thank you so much. Outsiders. Or Outriders, yeah. Yeah, they weren't expecting that. Hell, GameStop wasn't expecting that. They said, oh, I got 4 or 5 copies, and then everybody's coming in here buying it. And also, it's dropping for like $39. That's fairly decent. But go ahead.
No. I want
that Battleborn. Battleborn was trash.
I watched gameplay online. I looked at it online, and I was like, is this? I have to do this now. I have to go on YouTube and look at gameplay footage and say, is this going to be a game that I'm going to spend more than 2 days on? Because if it's not a game that I'm going to spend more than 2 days on, I'm not going to buy it.
But you guys remember when these games came out, like here with PS3, PS2, we play it off the disc. And it would sit there and we get those loading screens, right? You'd have to wait in between cut scenes because there was loading. So then they developed hard drives into these systems.
Yeah.
Right? So where you can install part of the game to this. I get tired of hearing people saying, like with the Xbox Series X, that it's just a key on the disc. Like the game's not actually on there. That's not necessarily true because it goes back and forth to keep the game moving as fast as it can from the data that's on here and what's on the hard drive. So you don't get those slowdowns and stuff. What are you going to do when that's all digital?
They're going to have to, like when games, I see games doing this now. like Avengers did it. It was all online, but they made a offline mode. So some of these games that are always online, when they get to end of life, their final update is going to have to be like, why not do that at the beginning? Because I mean, I know why they do it, because they want to make money. These live service games that took over just freaking stupid. But yeah, that's going to be a big problem too. Because like I'm there making a video. I just got a new system, but I spent like an hour, doing updates and stuff, because you had to do an update. These systems now, like since the PS4, you gotta do updates. Even the PS3 kind of had to do updates, and Xbox 360 not as much. But when they hit that PS4
No, I'm not laughing. I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm responding because they're saying he will have servers, will be king, and I said, yeah, NeoNest will have a bunch of servers.
I probably will. No cap.
Hey,
that's what's going to come to. What you're saying, Steve. Everybody's going to have their own server in order.
Yeah, it really is, because they starting to sell them now. You can go to Micro Center and they like, hey, you want to buy? You can get you a server, and you be looking like,
you don't want that though. You don't want to go down that road, man.
That's too much. And then your bill be.
He said, I got room for servers now.
Dude, man. I ran servers. I used to have them for my live stream and stuff for bots. It's
okay, so
it is a pain to keep them updated.
Heck yeah. And it was a Linux based.
Go down and stuff,
I don't even know how we got here with this conversation.
You were steering the car. You brought it back
I was
around.
Steering the car. I'm sorry. I was drinking and driving, y'all. I'm sorry. My bad. I should not do that.
No, it's all the Apple effect, though. It is. It's part of the Apple.
It does go back to that. It really does go back to that.
Apple really changed a lot of stuff. If you really look at it, the iPhone is a blessing and a curse.
But you know what? To that point, though, is it just their fault?
No, it just.
No.
Who else?
Microsoft.
They just perfected it.
Well, okay, yeah.
Actually, it'd be Google.
It's okay. So we can agree that a majority of the tech giants have added bits and pieces to this main puzzle here.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
And Apple was
in that process.
To run
no one is right. There is no right way in this process.
I mean, it's not a right way, but we see which way they're going. So the days of the Radio Shack and PS2, all that kind of stuff, and cart games, those are gone.
Cart games have been gone.
I mean, I'm saying those days, gaming how it used to be. Gaming before the internet is gone. Gaming after the internet is here to stay, and is taken out.
So let me chime in on that right there. Okay,
one more thing. Remember the day the Xbox 360 Marketplace launched?
I do.
We thought it was the best thing.
I did.
And it was.
It was.
So if we look at it, it started there. In my opinion, I think it started there.
Okay, so here's
for consoles, not computers, but for consoles.
So for Microsoft, I'll say this. I'll say as much as I can say.
Your boss is watching you?
No, hopefully not. Xbox was the test.
Which one?
For cloud.
Xbox, which one?
Just in general.
Like
the Xbox holistically, the entire platform of Xbox was the test for cloud. Right? So when we look at it from a cloud perspective in gaming, just the industry of technology and how we transfer data, how we process things, Xbox was the test. How do we move data across the internet? How do we transfer that? How do we process that? How do we translate that and compute that to give us the analytics back? That was one. We saw that from Microsoft. From Google, we saw it on a different format. So if you've heard of, routers and switches, the old school format of whatever, Google laid, if you want to call it, let's call it the landline, right?
Okay.
So they laid down the tracks of the transfer. Oh shit! Of the transfer of that.
All right over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're good. We're good.
You've been
Lay down the tracks of that. So, and then we can add on all the other folks. But to that point, when you start layering all this stuff on, gaming has always been within that realm because they needed the data from that. So we, the gamers, going online, playing on 360, even the OG Xbox. I mean, hell, when they first introduced Xbox Live, we were like, yo, what? We don't play online?
Remember we said it started with Dreamcast?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, go back to Dreamcast.
Well, PS2 no, because so come on PS2.
Well, and Dreamcast technically would be first, but
well, actually, PS2 has the network on the back.
Yeah, PS2, SOCOM.
Yes,
and a lot of those
yes,
games,
but SOCOM came after the Dreamcast.
Okay.
It came after the Dreamcast.
Oh, okay.
It did. So, by the time SOCOM came out and we had online capability to play with other people online. What happened?
No, he said Josh is saying it short. Look, Ocho, the chick's on Ocho.
No, I did drop it actually. I need to go wipe this shit down. So y'all continue the conversation. I'll be back and I'll drop it. I'll drop my nuggets for y'all in a minute.
No, don't come back and do that. Use the restroom before you come back and do your nuggets.
What?
Just go.
Bad joke.
Go. It was a good joke. Go.
Steve, this is a terrible joke.
Yes, Gag knows what I'm talking about. Dreamcast. I know Dreamcast came before the PS2 because your boy bought one for $80 when they were going. Because PlayStation was the one that knocked them off the cliff.
Thank you. See, at least there's some people in here that actually have a sense of humor, unlike you.
No, we got sense of humor. You just don't know how to tell a joke sometimes. Sometimes you hear.
No, it's just that disconnect. It's that disconnect. They got it.
I'll be right back.
It's all good. They got it. That's all that matters. Anyways,
but seriously, man, like,
yeah, I'm scared for this time period. Honestly,
I'm not scared. But I'm just like, man, it's not going back. It is so different because, like, for collecting wise,
yeah, that's what I mean.
These games right here, man, like. I think they might have an end of life cycle sometimes. These might end up just being coasters one day, especially when the service shut down and stuff like that.
I hope not.
I hope not either. But I'm saying that's why I'm not so stuck on like physical media like this. I love it, but I'll get rid of it. I'd rather have something tangible like a cart, or I didn't want to say digitally because
I know
even digitally they can come back and actually take it, and it goes right back and stuff. He said, "Why are you scared?" Yeah, why are you scared? Let's talk about that.
I'm scared because just like you just went out and bought all those games, but I guarantee when you stick them in your Xbox, you stick this disc in your Xbox or your PlayStation, it's got to download a patch. Well, if the servers aren't there anymore to download that patch, you're basically sitting there with a $5 coaster or $50, whatever it is.
Eventually, those servers are gonna.
They're going down. They're not going to keep them going.
Everyone's not going to like. I need to update. Remember when I don't know if you remember this, but it happened like a year or 2 years ago when Sony said they was closing down the PlayStation 3 store.
Oh yeah,
and then everybody was going to PlayStation 3 games was rising. Everybody was putting their PlayStation 3 games, trying to get updates on all their games. Just think about I had like
that's what I'm saying. I'm scared.
I had like 200 PlayStation 3 games. I'm putting PlayStation 3 games. Gotta get the updates. Gotta get this. I was like, God damn.
We did it with the Wii U. We did it with the Wii. But here's the thing, Steve. Okay, so you download that patch.
Wii U, yeah. Like look at what happened to the Wii U. A lot of updates.
And but okay. So let's say you were proactive. You downloaded all the updates, all the patches to your games.
Yeah.
Well, that hard drive crashes now in your system because they only last any hard drive. You look at any technical IT personnel, they're going to tell you replace your hard drive anywhere from 3 to 5 years. If you're lucky, you'll get 7. Okay. These consoles are 30 years old and they haven't been replaced. You're on borrowed time with it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm scared.
And all these and the companies are not going to tell people to update this and do that because they want you to go buy another system. And a lot of people, that's why my channel exists, and like Ness's and a lot of people other channels is it's not about how many games you can get, but also preservation is key. You know, like, hey, you need to start doing this to prepare for the future. You know, and a lot of people won't do it until it's too late. A lot of people won't do these things until it's taken away. A lot of people don't want games like a lot of people want Wii U and 3DS games until Nintendo say, you cut off. You ain't getting no more. You cut off no more.
We always want what we can't have. That's human nature.
Yeah. But this is why I brought it up last night. I brought it up. Does retro die with our generation?
SSD can fail too. Is this a hard drive? Yeah, it can fail. I mean,
you know what? I'm inclined to think so. That we are. I've been saying it for the longest that we are the boomers of gaming, of the gaming industry, of gaming collectors, and we were there at the beginning, and we're going to be there at the end of physical. And
physical is not. Look what happened.
Yeah, we've literally been through it all. Yeah. Like, we're going to be the only generation that's going to go through this kind of transition within the gaming industry. Our generation is the one that sees it all, that sees it from the very beginning, and then sees how it progresses to something really awesome. To
you see that question, Steve?
They keep, can a server be built independently or big console companies? Anybody can build a server. I mean, a server is just essentially a computer with software on it. But to your point, okay, these guys are saying, thank God for emulation. I don't see anybody out there emulating Xbox and PS5s and things like that.
They emulate that.
No, I'm talking about the modern consoles are too big. I mean, for somebody to have to emulate that, you're talking. This is the thing. I said to my kid, when you're my age and you have kids of your own, your PlayStation 5 is going to be considered retro. Okay, that's 30 years from now.
Damn.
You ain't going to be playing your PlayStation 5 with your kids. You're not, because the games aren't going to work because they are coasters without those updates.
So basically,
that's the reality.
That's what I was going to talk about.
So basically, are we going to have to get used to not owning video games?
Well, I mean, look at it this way. What is the percentage of games that release nowadays that are online based?
Shit, like a lot of them.
Right?
Yeah, just about all of them.
Just about all of them, right?
Someone have to have online something.
So like, the days of offline based games have pretty much, for the most part, died. Right? We still have some games that you can play offline, and of course, you may have the occasional patch, etc.
Can we be clear on this, just so everybody understands when they watch it?
Yeah.
When we say playing online, you're still downloading it to your system, but it needs to connect to the server to say yes. Go ahead in. You log in with your credentials, like EA has, and what are some of the other ones that you have to do?
Microsoft definitely has it.
But
correct.
This is what Ness is talking about here. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes. To what Steve's talking about right now is like, look, every new game that we generally buy has a patch of some sort, right? So when whether it's a physical game or a digital game, when we log into our console and we pop it in and there's an update, boom, we're automatically clicked into the internet. Now, progression of that gameplay or whatever, whether that's an offline game, it's technically not offline because you're still plugged into the internet, right? So meaning that the servers are still plugged in, they're still receiving data based off of the gameplay that you're getting. They're always going to be calculating that information that's coming back to their servers versus the old school format of gaming where you just plug in a game. It's offline, meaning it's not connected to the internet, and you're just playing what that game was shipped out. The base game that was shipped out, you're playing that, you beat that game, you're done. That is what the foundation of what we were brought up on with these There was no patch.
These what?
These games. This is what it was. That the game was trash. It was trash. You couldn't patch this.
Joking. The game was.
You get the sequel. Maybe the sequel was better. That was about it. But this was it. Now you get this patch every Tuesday.
It's every Tuesday.
You get the patch notes every other week. This is what we changed. We nerfed this. We buffed this. This is what gaming has become. Now,
it's annoying as hell.
You take this away, the physical. Now you just have digital. What happens? You may get some patch notes, but the next generation that comes forward, they don't have this. Right. They don't have this. They just have, let me talk about this. We may have a controller. We may have a console, or we may have a set of goggles or a watch or something that's intuitive to say, hey, we're playing this game. That's what's going to happen.
And I want to address with going with that. And they're like, oh, you also have to think about disc rot. This is a 25-year-old disc, and it looks as brand new as the day that I bought it. And it all depends on how you store your games. If you're leaving them in extreme colds, extreme heats, you're gonna have problems with your even a cart. You're gonna have a problem with. Neo Geo games, you're gonna have a problem with. But if you have them in a controlled environment,
Steve, but Steve also too, they got to
because if you get moisture on the pins there, they're not gonna work right.
You can restore those, but
you can.
You can, but not. People have to think about when they talk about disc rot. The first generation of CD-based disc, Sega CD, Sega Saturn, were really extremely not great.
No,
Philips CDI, all that kind of stuff. Those generation of disc wasn't really great.
But they also scratched easier than today's, or I shouldn't say today's disc, but they
do scratch easier.
They scratch very easy.
You try to like buff it out and play it, it's still going to be messed up a little bit.
Right.
You know, but these discs today, like the PS4 and PS5 and Xbox One, I mean, even PS2, you can like scratch the mess out of PS2, buff it clean, and it plays again. So
yeah, you can get them resurfaced too. A lot of
PlayStation
your games.
3, it's a little bit different because like if it get top scratches in a certain area, it's probably done for them.
The Blu-ray and UHD discs are very sensitive to scratches.
They are.
So like once you move up from just the standard DVD to like the Blu-ray and UHD and the hyper whatever they got, those, like, you scratch that and it's like it's a wrap. This material that they use, the that kind of stuff. So which, you know, to be honest, even like the Blu-ray games that I come across that are used, 9 times out of 10 they're not scratched at all. Like they are a little bit more resistant to scratches, at least from what I've seen.
That's what I'm saying. They don't scratch as easy as
like as
take
the old
a GameCube
standard
game. Those to me, and you know, people can argue and disagree. That's fine, but I think GameCube, out of all the discs, scratch the easiest when it comes to, you just set them suckers down, put them in the case, and they'll scratch.
Done.
Yeah, and the worst part about them is they're harder to resurface, from what I've been told by some of the game stores that I've gone to.
Which ones?
The GameCube ones, because
GameCubes are by far the worst to resurface.
And they're thinner, if I'm understanding.
Yeah,
Nintendo went and did it, so you only have so many resurfaces. Once that's done, the game is no good anymore, and therefore there's no more copies being made. So
I actually know a lot of stores that don't resurface GameCube because they're like, it's
too thin.
Like, they already know they'll put it in their machine to get buffed out, and it's gonna destroy the disc.
Terry says it in there. Yeah, even just playing GameCube games and scratch the disc, and you didn't even have to do anything. You just literally put it in, and you could be as careful. And so, of the retro discs, Like a PlayStation 1, man, you could do anything to those suckers.
Bro, those things, man, you can just put you a little Windex on there, a microfiber towel, and just
that's it.
work the thing out. Good to go.
Boy,
A little bit of turtle wax. Good to go.
you like on turtles. You need some ice out. Turtle wax.
Yeah, think of this for emulation. Emulators are going to only go again. We're back to having PCs with all this hard drive space. I mean, so you're back to physical again, anyways. You're back to physical, having a physical hard drive to play these games that are emulated. What are you going to do when the emulation servers go down? You can't get the ROMs and stuff anymore, or they call home and they have special coding in them that allow you, after so long, you're just not going to play them anymore. That's what I worry about.
For the retro stuff, like the Nintendo and Super Nintendo and all that stuff,
that's
not a problem. Like the emulation there is fine, but like when we start moving up into, like, hell, even some of the PlayStation 2 stuff for emulation,
I was just gonna grab
there's glitches, there's a lot of issues. It's not smooth, and when you start moving up further than that, like I'm sure the technology will probably get there eventually down the road.
Look how many years it took to figure out the freaking Sega Saturn. It took so many years for the Saturn. It took so many years for the Saturn emulation to get like great.
It did.
It did. Try what? Almost 25 years or 20 years after it came out.
Yeah. Well, even Dolphin emulator for GameCube.
Yep.
I mean, you try to play like we talked about these arcade 1-ups. You throw a Raspberry Pi 3 in there and throw Dreamcast games on it, it ain't gonna play worth a darn on that. The emulation isn't the greatest with some of the Dreamcast. Sonic doesn't move on some of these Raspberry Pis, these emulated systems as well as it did on the Dreamcast.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. I mean, it's not perfect, and I have a lot of emulation devices, but
I do too. And like and it's funny to me too, because the go-to is always like, oh well, this game's super expensive. Well, at least I have emulation. And there's nothing wrong with emulation, but like there is subtle differences between the actual physical version of the game and emulation. There is a difference between a port in the original version of the game, whether that's arcade to console or console to emulation. It's almost like, okay, you know what? I'm going to copy this video from my phone, download this to YouTube, and from YouTube, I'm going to download this again to my hard drive. That degrades the visual of that video, right? Yeah. So over time, we're emulating and we're downgrading, and that's not going to be picture perfect at the end of the day. It's just not.
Yep.
Like if we're talking about an original Nintendo game, of course, yeah, all good. But when we start moving up into the PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, the technology just isn't there yet. Because guess what? Where we talk about technology from a console standpoint, a PC standpoint, it's there, but from a piracy standpoint, it's not.
That's why I'm thinking about taking all these DVD and CD based games, selling them, getting all cartridge based games, and continue my collection with just the cartridge based stuff.
And PS3 is still hard to emulate. It's like you can't do anything with PS3, man. PS3 is really difficult. And PS3 was a nightmare to design for what everybody was talking about.
Man, PS3 was so like
that chip with the emulation chip. What was that chip? What was that chip on a PS3? Somebody was it?
What you're talking about?
Chip? Was it a motion chip or something?
It was something. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it.
That was super difficult. People I think it was. Who was that PS? Somebody in the chat. What was that PlayStation 3 chip that was definitely? Somebody remember it. Triple P's.
Cell processor. They're saying PS triple.
Was a cell processor?
I don't
think that was a joke.
Yeah, I'm just reading it off. No, I don't know. Yeah, it was all
the motion chip. Like, okay, so like I was talking to.
Yeah, it was a CPU. The PS3 CPU. The cell chip, something like that. It was a cell broadband. Cell broadband.
The processing chip.
Yeah, the cell broadband engine. That's what it was.
So okay, so like here's the thing. The technology that was in the PS3, a lot of people, well, I don't know if the people in the chat may know. I mean, they may, but I was talking to a video game store owner, and he was talking about like, have you really taken a look at the internals of a PS4, a standard PS4, not a Pro, standard PS4 and a PS3? And I was like, no. I'm like, well, why are you saying that? He's like, because the foundations of the PS4, of course, are on the PS3, but the PS3 can actually do a lot more than what people think that can be done. Like, there's a lot more power and production that can be produced from the PS3, and it really was just finally tweaked into the PS4, so it wasn't really that much. And I was like, I didn't get all the data and all the analytics and all that stuff behind it, but it made me question, like, in terms of like when we're talking about these consoles and when we're building this stuff out, from the 360 to, let's just say, the Xbox One, yeah, that was a pretty significant jump. From the Xbox One to the Series X, or no, to the One X, not so much.
No, not so much at all.
From the Xbox One to the Series X, really, we're just talking about 4K at the end of the day. 120 frames per second. That's all we're talking about. So we're talking about frame rates in 4K.
Remember how when the 360 first came out, and that,
that
generation came out when we moved from CRT to HD?
Oh, bro. Yeah, because I was on an LCD TV.
Yeah.
HD hadn't really.
I think Gears of War really like pushed everybody over the edge, like, because you can play it you can play 360 still on a tube TV.
Yeah, I was like a 720p was what I had.
I think it was like the Elite or the second version of.
Yeah, the Elite was the one that really pumped. The white one didn't do it.
No, but it was. I think it was 360 Elite that had the HD, and then it moved to like HD TV stuff. And then they also had the HD, but also still had the bottom where you can plug in, like right here at the bottom. It's the composite. I was like, So he said, this right here said the military once bought a bunch of PS3 turned to a supercomputer. Yeah, Mystic Ryan, he actually has one of those. He bought one of those PS3s that was in there. But remember when the PS3 2 came out, they had this that kind of, what was that thing was? It was like research for like some kind of medical research they had on the PS3. I can't remember what that medical research was, but you can like leave your PlayStation on or add something to it, and it was helping.
Oh yeah. But that was, I know.
That was on the PS3 earlier. Yeah, it was early years of the PS3.
Yeah.
Some kind of medical research. I forgot what that was called on the PS3. Let me see if I can find it.
Man, it just lets you know, like, it goes back to my original statement. Like, these consoles are just, I'll just say it for like Microsoft. It's a
folding at home. I think it was called. Somebody said folding. I'm looking on here. It says folding at home.
Yeah, basically made it like ping pong.
Oh yeah, Prince said folding at home.
Yeah, the protein thing, the protein folding. I never got that.
Protein folding. I don't think I've heard of that.
Yeah, it was like something you can do, like hook the PS3 up and just do some kind of stuff. It was some kind of weird thing where it helped with some kind of medical research or something like that. It was. It
was about making a supercomputer, because the way the processing was done, they could get like 10,000. Like if you had 10,000 PS3s or something like that, where they all were networked together to make it a super processor. When you weren't using it, they could use it for other things.
Gotcha.
I think that's kind of how, or that was what the thought was behind it. I don't know if they ever actually.
Let me ask a hypothetical question to the group. This goes for the chat too. They're
like a server.
If physical games went away, which will probably go away eventually, and emulation was classified as this is the way for everyone that wants to play, are you willing to play an emulated game that's a downgraded version of the original?
Depends on what the game is.
Well, okay, let's say for your top favorite 10 games, would you want to play the original version of that game where it was polished and looked good and it was great, or would you play the emulated version? Like if you had the opportunity to buy the physical version on the original console,
always gonna be physical. Yes, always gonna be physical.
Bro,
yeah.
that's why we have the consoles. I don't want to do emulation.
But
how is your lifestyle?
But let's say, for instance, physical is hard to come by now. Let's say now we've gone into the world of digital. Digital games physical games have gone, they're scarce. So if you do have an opportunity to get it, and let's say the price may be a little rough, but it's doable, do you just bite the bullet and go emulation, or do you go physical? And this is for your top favorite 10 games of all time, not anything below that.
It has to depend on price. First on space, price, how well it plays. Do I need to connect to the internet? All that kind of stuff. And it depends on your lifestyle, because a lot of people who are living just. Some people have small homes. Tiny homes are the rage now. Some people are not buying homes. Some people can't buy homes because the freaking interest rates and crazy.
Bro, I'm over here thinking I should not have done this.
It's the space. Sometimes homes are getting smaller. So, and right now people are not that many collectors. But
if you're talking 10 games. If they were my 10 favorite games, I'm buying them, and I'm not emulating, even if it's expensive. I think the bigger question we all should be asking, including the chat room, when that push finally happens and everything goes digital, what happens to our current collections? Do they go up in value, or are we sitting on the biggest waste of plastic that we've ever purchased, and we should have sold them years before they went all digital? Do they just instantly overnight lose value?
That is the question.
Because
we can say no, we can say yes, but at the end of the day, it's going to be on pure market speculation of what the market wants, right? So we're in a market right now where we still have a generation of buyers who grew up with the physical.
Well, and let me add with that.
20 years go by, and we're going to shift into gamers who play digital. Now, there may be some nostalgia, oh, my grandpa or my dad or my mom played this game, and I want that specific game, or I want that specific console with these series of games. There's going to be that too, but they're also going to have the situation of maybe there's going to be some, I guess, art style connoisseurs of the genre that are going to say, hey, this is a piece of art now. This isn't just a game that you play. This piece, they refer to it not as a game, but as a piece. Steve and I hear this on the Neo Geo side. They refer to the games as pieces.
Right. But
what? It's a video game. No, that's a beautiful piece. What?
It's a bragging right.
As a bragging right.
People got to understand, we're not talking about, when I say a waste that we spent all this money and the value's not there. This is what I mean by that. We're playing the games. We like the games. If the value's not there, all these retro game stores that are out there that are fixing your consoles, that are keeping them alive, the ones from the last 30 years, they go bye-bye, because if there's no money in these games, they're not going to be in business to fix them. They're
True.
not. So that's what you have to think about when I say, does it go away?
I don't think it ever goes away, because
I hope not.
Because retro is always being redefined. Now, like I said,
but we're at that pivotal point in time, man.
Because now PS2 and Xbox and GameCube is retro.
Well, I think I've classified them as retro now for at least 10 years.
Well, they say 20 years is a retro.
I say 15 years, but shoot, I mean, Wii is about practically almost retro.
Do you see real record players out there that you can just go to Walmart and buy them?
I see the new ones, yeah.
You see, you see the new ones, the emulated record players, right?
Let's ask the chat here real quick. Chat. So, what is your time frame of considering a console video game retro? 15, 20 years? What's your classification? What do you call it?
Doesn't it have to be after so many generations? Isn't that the real
I think
typical?
so many years to me. I say 15. I always say 15. I say 15. I say 15, or when the console is stop making the last game, and 5 years after the console is dead.
We got quite a few in here. We've got folks saying 20 years, 10 years, 2 cycles, 8 years, 10 years.
2 cycles. What is 2 cycles?
Yeah, what is 2 cycles?
I would say 20 as well, only because that's what it's considered a classic car, right?
Yeah,
if the car is 20 years old, it's classic.
Mr.
Car Guy.
So most people, so most people agree over 10 years.
Oh, for
absolutely.
sure. Oh, definitely over 10. I was saying like at least bare ass minimum 15.
Cycles. Well, what considered is a console cycle? Like now, we're going back to it again.
That's 14 years.
We're going back to the Apple effect.
Yeah, it's 14 years.
Look at the new console cycle. It's not like the old console cycle.
Well, I mean, look, okay, so if we're talking about 2 cycles, what the average cycle is, 7 years?
7 years.
So it's 14 years.
So it's 14 years. So if we're talking about it from a 14 year standpoint, generally during that time period, we're children, and then you've got another cycle for growing up and becoming an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 4th cycle after that is when you've gotten to the nostalgia point in your life to where you say, hey, I've got a career. I want to buy these things over again. And I want to have these as part of that. So that's 4 cycles that generally by that 4th cycle, you're an adult. You've gained a career, you've got money that you can spend. And that's just me speculating. That's not the
But when you say PS3 and Xbox 360 became retro in 2020.
Yeah,
but the problem with that, like when we're talking about Xbox in general, the Xbox doesn't get that kind of love, right? Versus like, which is why we see the PlayStation version of the same game increased by $5 to $10 more, or $30 to $40 more, depending on, right? It's the same exact game, but the PlayStation version is just more, just because there's more of a fan base for PlayStation over Xbox. Now, what I think I'm seeing now here as of recently, I think more that Xbox commotion that happened over the last couple of weeks kind of sparked something in a lot of people visually. Let's say like, yo, Xbox might actually be going away. I might want to go ahead and collect Xbox. Now, I'm not saying that's the be all to be all and say like, hey, you need to go collect Xbox. Hey, if you want to go collect PlayStation, it's the same damn game. Go play it. Cool. Like, I'm going to collect Xbox because me personally, I think that not only did they have really good games on Xbox, and some of the same games that were on PlayStation played just as good on Xbox. That's just me personally. There's going to be games on Xbox also that are going to have some boost in value. Because now, go ahead.
No, like you hit the nail right on the head on that, because no matter how good Game Pass is, right? They do take games off of Game Pass.
They do.
Games don't stay on Game Pass forever.
Yep.
Some games never make it to Game Pass.
That's right.
Oh man.
And Game Pass is so good. It's like having so much cake and ice cream, steak, whatever you like, Wingstop every day. You're not going to play it, eat it every single day. So something you're going to miss. As soon as somebody find a game off of Game Pass that's been delisted, and you could have got it for like $8, and you like, wow, I really want to play the Xbox version, because we all know in the collectible world, a game is really not desirable until it's like $100. And like, if this game was right here on the PlayStation 5, the PS5 version was like, which it is, because Limited Run made the PS5 and the Switch version. But say this game is $100 and Ultimate State is $25. People are going to want this because it's more desirable.
And unfortunately, that's like the stock market, because once it shoots up to $100, that's like people getting in and like, oh, now that's the stock that I want to get into, and they buy in at that $100, and then they're left holding the bag, because guess what? That game drops, or that stock drops $20 to $60. Now it goes back down because everybody that was in early, they sell. It's just the way of the game.
But they're talking about lifespans here in the chat too. You know, the earlier consoles like Nintendo, from 85 to 95, it was a 10-year lifespan. But in my opinion, it cost more to produce a game back then because there was a lot more to it.
Yeah.
With the plastic.
True.
Technology has changed that. So the lifespan cycle has gone down to 7 years, right? We might see in the future that the lifespan between consoles is 3 years. Or like Steve said, the Apple effect. Every 2 years, you might get a new console.
So what's the longest lifespan for a console to date at any publisher?
Right now it's PS4.
No. What is the longest standing, like, so from console, this console was released this date and it ended this date. What is the longest in history right now?
PS4, I think PS4. Because PS4 is still going on.
No.
What?
What is the longest console, meaning that this is the date that it dropped on, and it ended on this date? What is the longest in history out of every single console that's ever been?
Tell me.
Google's saying the Brazilian Master System. It's the longest lived console ever, as in 33 years.
Who?
That's what it says. The Brazilian.
Let's do a legit one. I don't know what that is.
I mean, Brazil does get a game.
I mean, I know Brazil they get the games in, but I'm talking about something that's.
What is it? You think who was?
Go ahead. I'm gonna let Steve look it up.
What's that?
I have a feeling like you're looking it up right now, right, Steve?
Longest video game
console
lifespan.
Yeah, it was the Brazilian Master System. It was for 33 years.
Well, something that everyone would have played.
It says the Sega Genesis.
Actually, it went 37 years. I'm wrong. And the console itself is almost 37 years. Okay,
so you said Sega Genesis, Steve?
I said the longest PlayStation. So PlayStation, I'm looking at. Well, you know what? Let's put it over here. Let's. I got something now. Let me put it over this side, because you might have the answer, and
I don't want it in Brazil because we're in the States.
Let's do this right here. Okay.
Number
12. I just looked this up. Number 12, PlayStation 2, 13 years. Shortest PlayStation TV.
What? That ain't no console.
So look, it said longest PlayStation 2. So it says right here, 6 consoles that last the longest and 6 the shortest. So the longest PlayStation 2, 13 years.
That's incorrect. Sega Master System has the longest. Second longest is NES. Third longest is Atari 2600 VCS, and the fourth longest is the Nintendo Game Boy.
Well, right here it says long Game Boy.
Here, I'll give you.
So let me ask you this question, since we've got the consoles down.
Well, look at this longest Nintendo Wii, like 2006 to 2020. That's 16 years.
How long were games produced?
Nintendo
for certain consoles. What is the longest life cycle for games produced on a console?
You said what now? I'm sorry, I was looking at all that.
What is the longest life cycle of games produced on a console?
Fucking Just Dance. Look at this, and we just had Just Dance. I mean, that's the first thing I thought about too. Just Dance. Just Dance, like
no, I'm not talking about just a specific game. I'm talking about like games in general produced. Huh?
You still been drinking?
Does it look like I'm sipping on anything right now?
You
Wouldn't
probably
that-
get back when you cut off and you've been drinking something else.
I would
No.
have to say the
No.
2600, the NES, and even the
I don't know.
Master
What do you
System.
think?
Like
I don't
those
know.
games have been really like
Somebody said Neo Geo.
no, not Neo Geo.
No, you don't think so?
No, I don't think the Neo Geo was producing games that long.
The Neo Geo AES was dropped in 1990.
Okay,
The last game they produced was in '97.
No,
that's
that's
no.
incorrect. Keep going. Look at the last one. Look it up.
The last Neo Geo game.
Yeah,
But you said how many in that span?
I'm asking not how many games. I'm asking what was
Oh,
the
how
longest
long?
time frame. Yeah.
The last Neo Geo game was in 2004. Samurai Showdown 4-Hour Special in 2004.
Okay, so I'm
Game
gonna
produced for a console the longest.
Sega Genesis because I just got a brand new Sega Genesis game yesterday.
2004.
14 years after a system introduced.
Yes. So is there another console that does that?
Yes,
What
Game
is it?
Boy. Game Boy.
Game Boy Original?
So Super Nintendo had 13 years. Nintendo Game Boy was still producing cartridges after 14 years and officially discontinued in 2003.
Are you counting color or are you counting just the
Oh no,
black
that's
and-
just a black and white. The Atari
Okay,
was
okay.
15 years. Nintendo was 20 years on the
Mhm.
shelf, and the Master System was 26 years. That's in the United States.
Okay, there you go. All right.
That was
Fair
shelf life. But what I was gonna say with that though is that's kind of like a trick question because they're still producing like limited run games and stuff for
I don't count
Nintendo.
I'm talking about official
Okay,
release.
official release. Okay,
Yeah, official release.
because then we could say all the cartridges, all the cartridge based because they are doing that, right?
There's way too many companies that are doing, these limited runs or
I would say
picks and
this.
loves or whatever. There's too many companies like that now that are doing the digital games that aren't getting physical releases. They're doing that, which is great,
Right,
by the way, because I would love to have a physical release for some of those games, but those are not official. They're just not.
I think with Steve though, the disc based games, PS2 would take them out. PS2 has the longest out
PS2
of
is
all-
13 years.
of all the but I'm saying of all the disc based systems that came out.
Yeah.
I think PS2 has the win on that. Not
It's
necessarily
13,
the cartridge.
13, 14 years. And also, if you look in Brazil, because Brazil's a different market, Brazil have games that still being released and stuff. Like you said, like Sega.
Brazil be on it. They be
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, Brazil, Brazil, but in the United States, the Master System was 26 years. So
It's a lot. All right, y'all. But we've been here a long time tonight. It's
Too
3
long.
hours, 20 minutes talking about this Apple effect about video
Damn,
games.
it still got 70 people up in this piece.
Yeah, y'all been acting really good, guys. Y'all know where to find us. We're gonna let y'all
Do
get out
they?
of here. Yeah, they know where to find us. Y'all know where to find us. Y'all know where not to find us. But thank y'all for tuning in tonight, and we'll see y'all next time, next Friday. Hopefully, I think I'll be here. Yeah, and I always do it the right way. See y'all.